your Toronto Argonauts and Hamilton Tiger Cats. Here from Guelph, Ontario, at the University of Guelph. Thanks, by the way, to everybody with the Griffins organization and with the school itself for being spectacular hosts for training camp as we get to go home tonight after the game and sleep in our own bed. How was traffic today coming from the West End?
Not bad at all. I was expecting a lot more, especially with a professional football game being in the area, but it was not bad. Smooth sailing.
Okay, let me take this to you through your eyes as not only a first-year player, think about your first training camp, and then think about you as a veteran. For training camp, you're coming in here, what does a second preseason game mean to you when the starters are going to get, we expect like a quarter and a half to a half from the starters with the Argos?
So as a young player, the second preseason game is basically my last chance to impress the coaches, right? They have game film from me from practice. They have film from me from everything I've done up until this point. And this is literally my last opportunity to confirm everything I've done in training camps to this point. So this game is really serious, especially if you're a bubble guy trying to make the team. You've got to really show the coaches that everything you've done so far, you can do it in the game. And, as an older veteran, I'm just trying to make it through healthy. Obviously, I know the playbook. I'm trying to have communication. If I'm playing with new players, I'm playing with a new quarterback or new receivers around me, I'm trying to make sure our communication is down pat because this is our last dress rehearsal before it goes live, and it counts, right? So you want to get all the mistakes you're going to get out in the second game as a veteran and make it through healthy.
I want to thank everybody for joining us, by the way. God, this came together at the last second. What we've been able to do is put this live stream together. You're going to be seeing what's on the scoreboard. So consider this a radio broadcast with bonus pictures because this wasn't supposed to happen. There were so many people behind the scenes to put this together, like Armando here standing behind us, the man with the plan, who's basically been thrust upon us here tonight. But we were able to kick this together. So, it's not going to be the fanciest camera angles or anything, but at least you're going to be able to see what's going on the field for a game that wasn't televised and didn't look like there was going to be any radio coverage at all. So sit back and enjoy, and we're going to be talking for the most part about this game from a big picture perspective. If the Argos win, and don't get me wrong, the coaches and players want to win this thing, big picture, they want to stay healthy, and the scoreboard really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. So we're going to be telling sort of big picture stories along with what's going to happen on the field. So this is going to be a very Toronto-centric broadcast tonight. And if you're an Argo fan, that's what you want anyways. By the way, you're trying to log in. There's the stuff right. Okay, there you go.
And Hoagie, another thing I was thinking about, it's a dress rehearsal for the coaches too, because there've been some rule changes in the CFL. Yeah. And for Dinwiddie being an offensive coach, he wants to see how his plays align with how the hash marks are aligned this year, right? So, it's a test for everybody. You want to see what plays work out on that field and what you can carry with you to the season.
Let me ask you about that, because you see, okay, they're 4 yards in, yada, yada, yada. The first time I saw them, and here at Guelph, you can see where the old lines have been painted over with green. It's dramatic. Yeah. I didn't think it was going to be that dramatic when I saw it the first time. I looked out from the pavilion and I went, ooh, that really brings Z into play, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's more dramatic when you see it live at a game. Like, even when I was watching our last game, our last preseason game on TV, it doesn't do it justice. TV does not do it justice. And then, like you said, when you see it juxtaposed to the old lines, you're like, okay, whoa, that's a massive difference. And, talking to some guys around the league, especially Z receivers, they're like, we're always in the read now. Whereas before, Z would just go off and do their own thing and occupy space. But now quarterbacks can make that throw, and a quarterback like Kyle Beth Thompson was already using Z, but now it's going to be a bigger advantage for him.
Yeah, I guess if you're playing fantasy, if you think Curly Gittins had a good year last year, now that he's been moved in, he had 605 yards last year playing Z, 50 catches for a position that, usually back with the old hash marks, the Z guy, the Z receiver would get 2-3 looks a game, let alone 2 or 3 catches. So that's a weapon that could be even more valuable this year. Who are you most curious to see? This is your first chance to see these guys live. You've been talking to guys all camp, and we had a fairly lengthy conversation the other night. But who do you want to see for the first time.
So last year, Shane Ray was up here and had a phenomenal camp. And you talked to me, you were at camp every day. He was just beasting guys left, right, and center. And we didn't get to see that in game action. We didn't get to see that during the regular season because he was battling injuries. I want to see what he can do after a whole year of being in a CFL team, a whole year of being in a training camp where, he can take the domination that he had in camp into the game. I want to see that NFL first-round draft pick type talent, show off here in the game. I'm looking forward to see him, and also looking forward to see Chad Kelly improve on what he's done so far. He obviously has done enough in camp where coaches felt comfortable releasing Antonio Pipkin. Last week he had some highs, he had some lows, but I want to see him build off those mistakes he made because that was his first live CFL action, right? And you always want to see how a player takes the coaching, takes what he's learned on film, and applies it to his next game because this may be his last game opportunity if everything goes well for this Argos team this year. So I'm looking forward to see him as well. And we have some receivers that we will get to talk about because there are some opportunities for guys to get some action today.
There we go. With the you were mentioning Shane Ray with the defensive end situation. Jagara Davis is back. He's been back and forth between Texas. There was a personal issue he was dealing with back at home. But the first play I saw him make in camp, and he came into camp kind of 3 days in, and I wanted to see what Jagara Davis was going to do. Yeah. So in one-on-ones, I said, okay, this is going to be good. What's he got? This is going to be. He took a sort of a quick jag step with his right foot and then a spin move on the inside, and I can't remember who the O-lineman was. He would have missed him in a phone booth. It was absolutely classic Jagara Davis. So if you can get him on one side, whether it be Shane Ray, whether it be Robbie Smith, who's had a really good camp and looked really good in Ottawa as well. And Ja'Kai Polite is a guy that I really wanted to see, a third-round pick of the New York Jets, he's just got this incredible physicality when you see him in his NFL days. And he was a guy that just, made some mistakes. He missed a couple of meetings in with the Jets, and you don't do that in pro football. He was gone. And he's up here to say, okay, I can play. I want to go back to the league. I want to get some do-re-mi back in my pocket. And I'm thinking if it had have been Polite and Ray and Jagara Davis and Robbie Smith as a rotation, it's like, oh, man.
Unreal.
We talked about the pass rush a year ago, like you say, with Shane Ray. But this year, it should materialize whether or not Ja'Kai Polite is ready to go on opening day or not.
Absolutely. And, especially with defensive ends and guys rushing the passer, you always need a rotation. You can't just have two guys because they'll get tired. You need a rotation of at least 4 guys to have a stout defense. And on paper, the Argos have that. And a guy we haven't talked about today yet, and I'm holding a toothpick.
Oh, you got a toothpick.
I'm going to try to do this broadcast with a toothpick in my mouth because Wynton McManus has a toothpick in his mouth everywhere he goes during this training camp. He's synonymous with it. I'm going to see how it goes up in this booth, but he has been terrific as well.
He eats with it. I'm not making that up. I keep looking, going, okay, this is the time he's not going to. Oh, he's got it.
Yeah.
He plays. He doesn't take it out during plays, which astonishes me. If you see him, he's got the mouth guard and he's got the toothpick in there. And I asked him, I said, come on, come on, you're doing this. Aren't you afraid of getting hit? And he goes, I do the hitting.
I love that. If you were to put a linebacker in a movie, that would be his line right there. I do the hitting.
So that's kind of what we're looking at, the M&M boys with McManus and Mwamba as the will and the middle. And then you've got Chris Edwards, who is going to start the season on suspension. One of the things is he's going to be coming in with a chip on his shoulder, right? When he gets back in the lineup, much like Speedy B, much like Jagara Davis, much like all of these guys. And they've got something to prove. Andrew Harris.
Yeah.
Like they've come in. Speedy B is, mea culpa.
Yeah.
I didn't think Brandon Banks, I thought he was done. Yeah. I saw him last year, and when you've got a guy whose best attribute is his speed, and he loses half a step to a guy like that, that's everything. And whether it was injury, scheme, play call, whatever the problem was last year, Speedy B didn't look like Brandon Banks, right? He looks like Brandon Banks. And what RD's Ryan Dinwiddie said to me in a conversation yesterday was, I didn't know the football IQ he had. Like, he's come in and he's picked the offense up way faster than I expected anybody to pick it up. And he's that guy. And Speedy says, I go home after practice and I get my head in the playbook. This is what I do. I'm a professional.
I've got 2 stories about Speedy B, actually. And one was, with his time in Hamilton and Kent Austin as a coach, Kent Austin really just looked at him as a returner and really painted him out to be a guy that, couldn't play offense because he couldn't learn the playbook. But when he's come here, even with June Jones, his next head coach, June Jones put him in, and he found out what RD found out was he's actually a cerebral player in terms of the playbook, knowing where to be. And it's not just the speed. He actually is a receiver where, he's helping guys line up and, thinks the game through as well. So, with Speedy B, it's funny with coaches when they paint a player with a certain brush, you start to think that's how they are. But then when they get with another coach, they're really able to show their true colors. And I'm glad Speedy B has been able to be, a marquee receiver in this league. And to the point where we both thought he lost it last year. Speed guys, like we've seen guys, and especially you've seen a guy like Chad Owens, right? When you start getting hurt and you get older and you lose half a step, next thing you know, those hits that you were avoiding before, you're getting crushed by, and you're getting even more hurt. But I'm happy to see that Speedy B is able to recapture some of that magic, especially early in this training camp. And the guy says he looks like he has something to prove, right? Especially playing Hamilton today. He's definitely got a chip on his shoulder. He's going to save some for the regular season. But, when you're an MOP-type player, right, you have, there's a reason why you're that kind of player, because you've got intense pride, and it looks like he's gone back to everything he's done to get him to that point, and I'm looking forward to seeing him in Double Blue this year. One
of the things that has not been decided yet, the main returner for the Toronto Argonauts, and the Argos will receive the ball to start this game. And going back is Javon Leake, who was just so good at Maryland. 3 return touchdowns there. He was the All-Big Ten returner at Maryland. Was the Offensive Player of the Week in the Big Ten and the Special Teams Player of the Week in the Big Ten for the same game. That had never been done before. So he's going to go back with A.J. Ouellette. Argos will be moving from right to left here. See, I got the radio thing going. Yeah. So I know you can see if you're listening right now. Right. You have that option. But I got old habits here I got to break.
Lee is special. He just looks like a specimen out there, like almost like James Wilder looked like before, but maybe a little bit more explosive.
Awaiting the opening kickoff here. Flag, it's blown in. Mike Domagallo will kick off the Carleton product, and it's a low line drive picked up by one of the upbacks who takes it across the 40 to the 45, and that's where the Argos will come onto the field with McLeod Bethel Thompson at quarterback. On the offensive line, from left to right, Isaiah Cage and Phil Blake, and one of the newcomers, Justin Lawrence. Gregor McKellar gets the start tonight, the first-round draft pick, and Dejon Allen. The receivers are going to be rotating in and out all night long, so we're not going to tell you who is on the field, aside from Speedy B, who is going to line up to the slot to the near side with the Argos taking the ball from the left hash mark. 3 receivers will go right side, 1 to the near side. Declan Cross is in as a tight end on the near side. They will run right up the gut to Ouellette across the 45, spinning off to 50, and it'll be good for a gain of 6 yards, second and short.
Ouellette had a nice run there. We've talked about his stature, him being a big, strong running back. And right there, he could have been stopping the run in the backfield, but he kept his legs churning, battering ram looking like, and put the Argos in a position for a manageable second down.
Ball right between the hash marks. Nicely underway here at Guelph tonight. Argos going into the sun, which will hurt McLeod Bethel Thompson, but it'll help the receivers when they turn around. Play action. Bethel Thompson back. Looking, has a man on the crossing route. It's Gittins Jr. across the 45 to the 35. He'll be taken down at the 33-yard line. It's a first down, Argos.
That was a good progression by McLeod Bethel Thompson, going through his read, coming all the way backside. Curly Gittins Jr. And Gittins Jr., he just continued what he did all season last year, the most consistent receiver this Argos team had, and continue his all-star play.
McLeod Bethel Thompson, the Eastern All-Star quarterback from a year ago, looks over the offense now. Ouellette's lone setback. He moves from right to left. 3 receivers to the near side. Bethel Thompson goes to the boundary. He's got a man in Daniels, and DeVaris makes the catch inside the 30 to the 29.
I'm expecting big things for DeVaris Daniels this year. Talking to him before the game, he said this is his first camp since he was in college that he made it through 100% healthy. So, a healthy DeVaris Daniels is a dangerous man.
And quick timeout here. Not sure what they're checking. It will be 5 yards to get here on second down. They'll mark it at the 29-yard line. Speedy B will come to the near side, along with Curly Gittins Jr. They'll be joined by Markeith Ambles now. Running play. Ouellette pile drives into a linebacker at the 33, at the 28-yard line. It will be shy of the first down, and the Argos will make a decision on whether to go or kick 3.
Looks like they're keeping the offense out there.
I think they know what Boris Beatty can do.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, he's all right. Boris is okay.
We talk about AJ. Oh, my goodness. He put Cameron Kelly in the dirt.
That was like 2 Rams at the top of a mountain going bighorn on bighorn. 4 to get on third down from the 28-yard line. 3 receivers come to the near side. Bethel Thompson looks that way. He's going long. He's going end zone, and that one's going to sail on him. He was looking for Brandon Banks, and the Ticats will take over on downs. No score. We have 12-14 remaining here in the opening quarter.
The Ticats sent a blitz there, and McLeod Bethel Thompson heard footsteps and felt like he had to get the ball away even before Speedy B was open, so that's why it was a little mistimed. Speedy B was not open on that play, but McLeod Bethel Thompson had to get rid of it because of the pressure.
Now, here's the glorious thing about what we're doing. They're taking a TV timeout. We can stay here and talk about stuff like the home opener for the Argonauts, June 16. It's coming up quickly. We would love to see you at BMO. Big game early. Montreal Alouettes want to show that last year was no fluke, that they are a good team, if not better than some people think. They think they're a playoff team. I don't know why not. They were a year ago. So they'll be in town 7:30 on the Thursday night. For tickets, go to argonauts.ca. Nice way to start. Like last year, it was in Calgary. Okay, it's a Western. Let's get the East thing going right off the get-go.
Yeah.
Where do you see Montreal finishing this year?
You know, the East is going to be tough this year because I don't even know who the worst team in the East is because it's, Ottawa is significantly better. Montreal was a playoff team last year. They've got, 2 proven quarterbacks in this league, and you always need 2 quarterbacks. And they've got William Stanback at running back, who's a tough. Every game he brings it. I mean, the East is going to be a dogfight all year long. I see Montreal being in the thick of it. You can't count anyone out, especially in CFL. Like we've seen teams, be under 500 and go on and win Grey Cups. So, I'm like just excited, as a football fan to see, football a full schedule, and the East looks like the stronger division this year.
The ratings must have been low for the Ticats pregame show, so they asked me to go on to boost it up. And they asked me, they said they left it an open-ended question. The Argos win the East if?
Yeah.
And I said if they stay healthy.
You know what?
I think they've got the best roster in these. I'm not just saying that because we're doing that. I wouldn't have said that 2 years ago, certainly. Yeah. Last year I thought Hamilton had the better roster, but I thought the Argos had a shot if all things went well. And it kind of came down to Hamilton and Toronto at the end.
I said the same thing. I went on Hamilton speaking with the enemy. I said if McLeod Bethel Thompson stays healthy all year, they win the East.
First and 10, our Ticats will take over at the 28-yard line. Incomplete pass. They were looking for Anthony Johnson on first down. It sails, and it will be second down with Schultz in at quarterback. It'll set up a second down and 10. Argos defensively, there's Shane Ray, Sean Oakman, Dwayne Hendricks, and Jagarrett Davis. That ain't a bad front four. Actually, Robbie Smith is in on the far side. Still a very good front four. Tarveris McFadden and Dion Harris are the corners. We'll get the rest of the lineup momentarily. Second down and 10. Schultz back to pass. Under pressure. And down he goes.
That's that D-line we were talking about wreaking havoc, right? That's.
Is that Hendricks? Dwayne Hendricks got him.
And the thing we talked about D-line, being stout is, you can't double anyone, right? And then it leaves the guys on the interior with one-on-one matchups all day long. And if you can't beat a one-on-one matchup, you can't play professional football. So this Argos defense is going to get after it this year, and I'm excited to see what they can do.
So it's a third down and 14-ish. So that brings on the punting unit for the Ticats, and Javon Leake will stand back at his 41-yard line. Didn't get a chance to touch the ball on the opening kickoff. Not a great punt. Ticats struggled a week ago. This is another stinker, but it takes a big bounce. Leake will pick it up at his 35-yard line, double back. He's under pressure and will be taken out at the 27-yard line. It's funny how sometimes the good kicks don't go all that well because it's a big return, and sometimes the lousy kicks work out for you. And the Ticats will take the end result of that, which is the first down for the Toronto Argonauts at the 29-yard line.
Yeah, that's going to be a coaching point in the special teams meeting right there for a league. You never want a bouncing ball to get by you because it allows the pursuit team to get on you faster than you want. So he's going to have a learning moment, but better it happens in the preseason than in the regular season.
Hitch screen, Speedy B, and he is hit immediately for a 3-yard loss. And McLeod Bethel-Thompson, 3 of 4, but that one will hurt the stats a little bit, down to 28 yards on the night for Mac.
Speedy B is playing his former team, right? And, they know how he moves. They've seen him in practice for, 5-6 years. And if he's going on a screen or if he's going on a deep ball, they know his body language. So it's a bit of a tough matchup early on for him, but I suspect he'll get loose at some point this game.
2nd and long. We'll call it 13 from the 26-yard line. Ball on the left hash mark. Mac looks things over. 3 receivers to his right. He'll drop back. 4-man rush goes over the middle, and it is complete to the 40-yard line. There's Speedy B out to the 51-yard line. It's an Argo first down.
Right on cue, Speedy B finding the hole in the defense. We talked about his cerebral nature, knowing defenses, knowing where to sit, and he does that right here, finding the hole in the curl window from McLeod Bethel-Thompson. And this is a timing play. And you can see they already have great chemistry. Mike, you told me that in camp they've been hooking up a lot. So it's good to see that happen on game. And so the coach can go back and, really see what these guys are comfortable with.
Every day kind of rolls together right now. I think it was 2 days ago. It might have been 3. First play, bomb to Speedy B, touchdown from the 50. It was McLeod putting a little more air under the football. Let Speedy go get it, and he did. Could be magical this year if they stay healthy. 52-yard line is where they'll put it in play. They'll give it to Ouellette. Comes behind the guard on the near side, Phil Blake. Takes it out to the midfield stripe. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
You know what? If you're a Hamilton Ticat and you thought you were going to have an easy day today and just make it through healthy, AJ Ouellette has some different answers for you because he is trying to run over everybody that he encounters. And right there, he just puts his head down and keeps driving those legs. I mean, a tough runner, short yardage situations. I see him being very successful.
Isaiah Cage was the hammer, not the nail on that one at left tackle. Great block by the left tackle, Chicago native. Mac goes long, Speedy in and out of his hands. He was open again. And it will bring out the punt unit with our favorite Aussie, John Haggerty.
He was open once again, and you talked about McLeod Bethel-Thompson putting more air under his ball. That's a situation where a little bit more air would have served them well because coming out of his break, Speedy B kind of took a misstep and he needed an extra step to kind of regain his balance. A little bit of extra air, that's a completion. That's a first down.
So out comes John Haggerty. 53.2-yard average on 9 punts last week. And he kicks it with that Aussie nose down, end over end thing that comes down at the 11-yard line and will be returned to the 20, to the 25. Still on his feet is Woods. He's going to cut it outside. He's only got Haggerty to beat, and he will beat him. And Lawrence Woods is going to take it to the house for a touchdown for the Ticats. And we've got an injured Argo at the point of attack where the first block was thrown. But the Ticats strike first on a long punt return by Lawrence Woods III.
I hadn't heard Lawrence Woods III's name a lot, especially in CFL circles, but a play like that on the last preseason game will put your name on the coach's minds, and that's the kind of things you have to do if you're a bubble guy trying to make a roster. Big explosive plays, and I guarantee you the coaches will be remembering that play come cut down day.
There's an injured Argo on the field. The officials don't see it. It's Eric Sutton. He's down just inside or just outside the numbers. The rookie out of Texas State. He was the 6th round pick this year, 53rd overall. He's one of those guys that people thought may at some point be a 2nd round, maybe a 1st round guy at some point, and he had a lousy combine. Let's just, call it like it is. And he was there in round 6 and was like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's looked good. Like they've moved him around. He's played some half. He's played some safety. He's not the biggest guy in the world at 5'9", 175. But if they want to make safety a Canadian spot with Royce Mechie, and they've got Haggerty back there, Josh Haggerty, this could be some depth and a guy that they were looking for on draft night, it was the special teams guys that said, "Yeah, let's get this guy in here." And they kind of went to bat for him. So he's sitting up. I'm the radio guy. You can see that. As you look at the scoreboard feed here, you're going to look at a happy Hamilton bench after that touchdown. And we're waiting for the extra point, the conversion attempt. 6-0 Ticats. 8:14 remaining here in the opening quarter.
It's when you talk about a second preseason game, the last thing you want to do is get hurt, especially if you're not a cemented starter. Even if you were cemented, anybody, you don't want to see any injuries because now, it's going to be tough to make the team, being hurt, right? But you hope that everything you've done up until this point, will get you, a spot on this roster. But right now, the way he's walking off is not looking good. You hope for the best for the kid. Being a rookie, it's a tough way to go out. You want to be out here making plays, especially when that second half rolls around and you're getting that consistent playing time.
Domagala comes out for the conversion attempt. Snap good, hold good, kick up, kick long, kick good. It's 7-0 for the Hamilton Tiger Cats as Domagala converts the Woods touchdown. I had a bad flashback on that to the East Final.
Yes. Oh, my gosh.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That was a longer return. It was a return left like the one was in the East Final. Poppy White took it back to the house. But Poppy White was basically at the numbers or at the old hash marks. That one was a long run. That was a really nice return. Give credit where credit is due. But Mickey Donovan is not going to like the coverage on that one.
No, absolutely not. And Jeff Reinbold is not, on the Hamilton Ticats sidelines anymore. So you're wondering, who cooked up that play. But it was very reminiscent of that East Final, and that was a heartbreaker of a play because that totally shifted momentum. Hamilton was dead to rights, and that play kind of woke them up. And, you rather, for Mickey Donovan, you'd rather that happen in the preseason so you can see, the kind of scheme that is working and isn't working. You can make adjustments, but once it's live, you can kind of look to this tape to make corrections off of. So, it's a learning moment for everybody, but guys trying to make the teams, especially you're trying to make the team on special teams, that can't happen.
Good luck following Reinbold as a special teams coach, right? But Craig Butler's got a really good knowledge of Canadian football and a longtime player who excelled on special teams. And Casey Crean is helping him out. So, you've got another experienced CFL coach. So, it's not going to be Reinbold. Jeff was just – he scared me more than any positional coach in the history of the CFL. As an opponent, because you knew he was going to do something evil,
and he had the green light to do it, right? So those are the guys
coaches,
that scare you the most.
Oh yeah, How many times did you see a trick here, or a great return, or just a twist on a blocking scheme on a return, and it's in the end zone?
The best thing about Reinbold, all his guys always bought in to his system. For some reason, he made special teams something that guys were asking him to be on.
7-0 Ticats, and Javon Leak will drop back for the Argos. Seth Small is in to do the kickoff, and now we'll get a chance to see the return. Leak will take it to the 15-yard line, cuts to the middle. Oh. Good juke at the mark. He's got the 35-40, and another one at the 45. Oh, that's a little nasty. Great return by Javon Leak. And that's what the coaching staff wanted to see in a game, and they just saw it.
Yeah.
He may have just made the team.
That was beautiful. Javon Leak, you can see where the block is set up. The blocks are set up for it to go boundary, but he's like, okay, I see an opening, and I'm going to take it. That's the kind of aggressiveness you love from players because they're showing that, hey, if something's there, I'm going to take it. You coached it up to go one way, but if I see something, I'm going to let my athleticism take over, and that's what he did right there.
And the second juke was on Curtis Newton, who's a really good special teams guy. Handoff, Ouellette bounces off Dylan Wynn. We'll take it across midfield to the 54. It'll set up a second down and 8.
Ouellette, he's not getting a lot of yards, but he is not letting the first guy bring him down. That was Dylan Wynn that time. And a lot of times if Dylan Wynn has his hands on you, you're going down. Ouellette fighting, battling, trying to make the most out of every carry he gets tonight.
I love AJ. AJ would play this game without a helmet in cleats that were 9 sizes too big. Gloves with no palms.
Yeah, old school.
Oh, major. Bethel Thompson back. Pass under pressure. And he's going to get
no.
down. He actually dumps it out. That's a live ball, and that is going to be recovered by the Ticats, I think. And it's Dylan Wynn who's going to get it. Simone Lawrence had a chance. There's a flag down as McLeod Bethel Thompson was talking to Dave Foxcroft. I think it's going to be an incomplete pass, I would think. Or are they saying that's an incomplete pass?
Yeah, it went forward. His hand was going forward, but he was in the grass as well. But it might be intentional grounding. That
could be it.
That's what it might be because he was throwing to a lineman.
Or is it a low hit against McLeod Bethel Thompson?
Yeah.
No, it's going to be declined. You're right. It's got to be grounding.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll find out eventually. Either way, out comes Haggerty.
And, those are the kind of plays you don't want to see. You're going down anyway. Just eat the sack, especially in the preseason game. There's nothing good that can come out of this situation. We saw that last week with Chad Kelly where he was in the grasp and threw it up. And unfortunately for him, it wasn't picked by the Ottawa safety. But you've got to learn from that play, those kind of plays.
Here's Haggerty, 44 on the first one. This one's going to corkscrew down at the 12-yard line. Flag down. Is that going to be no yards or a block?
Looks like no
Return
yards.
will be taken out at the 22-yard line. And it's going to be no yards. And that would have been like the old rule. That would have been a 15.
Yeah.
The new rule is if it hits the ground, it's still going to be 15.
It's all 15, yeah.
I
like it.
Good.
I like
That's,
I like it for
be,
football and scoring as an offensive guy.
No, because there's going to be so many 15-yard penalties.
Yeah.
And, the ball's going to bounce back. And I understand the concept.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be so messy at some point of the season. I'm all for player safety, and I love the fact that it's a 15. Of all of the stuff that they did in the offseason, that's the one I'm
So you're thinking because of the amount of times the ball punts bounce, that it's just going to be 15 yards left, right, and center because guys just can't help themselves, right?
Yeah. And even if you're trying to get outside of the zone, that becomes – and when a guy's backing up and he's 4 yards or he's stopped and the ball wobbles back a yard.
And then the guy just runs and picks it up
that's the same as hitting a quarterback in the head.
Yeah.
Right?
You know what? When you put it like that, it doesn't seem fair, but – there's a clear mandate. More points.
I get it. I know why they're doing it. It's just that's the one that leaves me a little greasy,
It's funny. You said that's the same as hitting a quarterback in the head.
It is. Go for the quarterback's ankle at full speed. It's a 15-yard penalty.
Right.
Back out of the zone, giving the guy the 5 yards, and the ball rolls over late, and it's 4 yards, and the referee throws a flag, or the official throws a flag. It's the same penalty.
Yeah. No, but as an offensive guy, I like the attempt to get more points.
Yeah.
But you know what? In a playoff game,
okay, no. I'm going to throw this at you. That's 15 yards you're not getting as a receiver.
True, but are we closer to the end zone? Because at the end of the day, I want to score and win the game.
No, you want your yards.
If we can have both, then I'd be happy.
Yeah, there you go. First down for the Tigers. They lead 7-0. 6.5 left here in the opening quarter. Mike Hogan and Ataya J with you. Thank you for joining us here at Argonauts.ca. It is tipped and not picked. It is caught. Oh, man. That was dangerous. Emmanuel Butler's going to catch it, but that's the Argo defense, what we have seen all camp. Flirting or getting the picks.
All right, McFadden. I mean, he is sitting on this out route. He's in the zone defense, so he can read the quarterbacks the entire time. The quarterback does not a great job of disguising where he's throwing it. He telegraphs his pass to McFadden, almost like last week, almost another pick six, and he's been really impressive. I mean, to be his first year in the CFL camp and to be this advanced, oh my goodness.
He was here last year. They released him, and then they re-signed him in, I think, November. And it's a running play. Woo! Up and over goes Morton, the new quarterback for the Tabby Kitties. That's Jalen Morton. And that will be a first down. McFadden, he comes into Florida State, right?
Yeah.
Pretty good program, he said, rather knowingly. His second year, not his senior year. 8 interceptions. He wins the Jack Tatum Award as the best defensive back in the NCAA and is a finalist for the Bronco Nagurski Award for the best defensive player in the NCAA as a sophomore. Pressure. Rolling.
Oh!
Intercepted. Harris has it at midfield, and he'll take it back to the 50, to the 45, still on his feet. He'll be taken down at the 46. There's the interception the second time around. And the ball-hawking Argo defense, get ready for that sentence this year, has a turnover, and the Argos, down 7, have it with 4:51 left in the quarter.
No, they are a ball-hawking bunch, but Jalen Morton has been flirting with danger, and this time he throws up a Christmas gift. He scrambles out. Obviously, feels like he has time, but he throws it right. I don't think he saw Harris there. He couldn't have, because he literally gift-wrapped that interception right to him. And he is not going to like that when he sees it on film.
Deion Harris, like McFadden, is tall at the corner. He's 6'3". He was with Calgary. He was with Washington in the NFL, and then went to the XFL in 2020. He was a first-team All-Big Sky guy and a second-team All-American with the Associated Press back at North Dakota. So he's been interesting. Then the other thing with the DBs, if there's a play like that, or the first one where the ball is tipped, or a defender goes to knock it down, the other DBs get mad. All you'll hear is "pick that." Like it's not a word of encouragement. It's like, that's our football, go get it. And that's Josh Bell, and that's Corey Mace, and that's Will Fields, and the guys who are coaching up the DBs. That's what they want. They want this to be a very aggressive ball-hawking secondary for the Argos.
You know what? That reminds me of the Chicago Bears when they had Peanut Tillman, right? Punching the ball out all the time, and he would do it in practice, and players would get mad. But he always said, if you don't try to get forced fumbles, you're never going to get it. So if you're constantly practicing and preaching interceptions, turnovers, and expecting to get them, that's going to be the result. It's going to happen in the game. You're not going to be afraid of the moment when it comes to you. So, you love to see that from this Argos defense, because, you talk about these DBs with McFadden and Harris. They have a type, right? Long, tall DBs. And it's going to be a fun year to watch them do their thing.
Mack is 4 of 7 for 54 yards so far. He'll put it in play from the 46. Back to pass, 4-man rush, comes out near side. A.J. Ouellette tackled immediately at the 41-yard line. It'll set up second and 6-ish.
That's a good job of McLeod Bethel-Thompson taking what the defense gives him. They play a zone defense where they back off a bit, giving him the underneath stuff. Take what the defense gives you. You can go down an entire field, just by – there's always going to be an answer, right? And that's what these preseason games are. Can you see what the defense is doing, and can you deliver an accurate ball?
2nd and 6 is better than 2nd and 10 or 2nd and 18, right?
All day.
Back to pass, 5-man rush. Bethel-Thompson spins out of the move. He's got some room to run. Will he? Yes. To the 40, to the 35, and sliding down. Safe at second base, and a first down for the Argos at the 33.
I don't know if McLeod Bethel-Thompson's been doing Pilates or yoga, but he is looking nimble back there, especially escaping Dylan Wynn once again. It's not very often you get out of Dylan Wynn a sack, but he's able to do it, take off, slide, and stay healthy. That's what we want to see.
That's where he gets up and he does that stupid Dylan Wynn dance. I love Dylan, but that's a bad sack, man.
Yeah.
33-yard line is where the Argos will tee this one up. 3 receivers to the right, ball on the left hash mark. A.J. Richardson is in. He's the single receiver to the near side. Pump fake, and McLeod Bethel-Thompson, nothing there, just threw it away. And there is not still an open receiver for the Toronto Argonauts. Great job of the Ticats secondary.
That was an incomplete pass, but his intended receiver had literally had 2 guys surrounding him, which is Markeith Ambles. McLeod Bethel-Thompson does a great job, getting this ball away and avoiding the sack. But those are kind of plays that obviously on the stat sheet that looks like an incomplete pass, but that's a positive because you avoid a sack and you live to play another day.
So it's 2nd and 10. Again, more manageable than taking the sack, as you just mentioned, from the 33 left hash mark. 3 receivers up top, 2 to the near side. Back to pass, Bethel-Thompson. Screen, Ouellette, 30, 25, first down to the 20. Bowls over Kelly, and will move the sticks. It's another Argonaut first down.
The Argos did a great job setting this up. Hamilton on 2nd down and longs, they've showed blitz the entire game. They come with a little blitz here with Tunde Adeleke, and you slip the running back right underneath, and you've got open space for days. Their linemen are getting down, and Ouellette does the rest. Great design.
I love Tunde Adeleke. I just wish he wasn't in Hamilton. He was so much more fun to watch at Carleton and then in Calgary. and getting the opportunity. He has become such a good CFL player.
Such a great athlete, such a great player.
Ouellette will take it down to the 15-yard line, and that will be a gain of about 3. Again, second and manageable.
This is where you start wondering about conditioning, because that's 3 plays for Ouellette on this drive and a couple long ones, and you're starting wondering, is he getting a little bit tired? But, guys haven't played a full game, this whole this is a second preseason game. So you're just wondering about guys' legs, especially at this point.
Daniels and A.J. Richardson to the near side. Banks, Gittins, and Ambles up top. Back, Bethel Thompson going end zone and incomplete. Smart move, threw it away from Richardson instead of throwing it into double coverage, and set up the relatively easy tray for Boris Beatty.
Yeah, this was a situation where the timer was going off in McLeod Bethel Thompson's head once again. They had a corner route called, but he didn't allow his receiver to fully get on the DB's toes to get open, and I threw it a bit early, and it was just an easy play for Alden Darby back there.
The veteran right footer, Boris Beatty, has the Aussie as his holder. John Flaherty did that at Western Kentucky. He gets it down, Boris gets it up, and for the first time this year, I can say it's a BD3. 3 points for the Argos, 7-3 for the Ticats, rather, with 1:27 remaining here in quarter number 1. A 99-yard touchdown on a punt return by Lawrence Woods for the Ticats, and that Boris Beatty field goal. That wasn't a bad drive.
That was a really good response. You have the kickoff, the punt return go against you, then you get a pick, and you respond right away with good field position. So, it's good to see the Argos first team offense kind of put something together, put something on film, have a little success, and put some points on the board.
So the Ticats will put it in play from the 40. That's one of the new rule changes this year.
I like that. Couple plays and you're in field goal range, especially Boris Beatty. Almost 1 first down.
So from the 40, the Ticats will put it in play and go running game and not get a whole lot, as it looked like that was Enoch Mwamba in there in a hurry to take down Sean Thomas Earlington.
We talked about Chris Edwards not being out for the first 2 games of the season. He's getting all his trash talking out right now because he's going to have to miss a couple
but
games.
But he likes Hamilton. Man.
That was a scene.
That was not good. It was bad.
Yeah, a lot going on there, but, thankfully he's going to be playing at some point this season. He's going to be playing important games.
Second down, we'll call it 7 for the Ticats from their own 43. Left hash mark. They wanted to set up the screen. It looked like nothing there. Morton back to pass, scrambling out, looking, and he throws. He's got a man open in Earlington with a flag down, and it will be a first down, but this one's coming back.
Yeah, once a screen doesn't work, you can't throw the ball downfield because you'll have linemen all down the field. So what they teach you is once the screen doesn't work, just throw it at the running back's feet.
Or run.
And those are the only 2 things, the only 2 options, not throw the ball downfield. So that's definitely coming back.
There is an official in some trouble back at the Argo 24-yard line, and that would have been way behind where the safety would have been. Did he blow out a tire, or is there something a little more severe here? The penalty is against the Ticats for illegally being downfield, so it'll move it back to the 33, but that's not what the concern is right now. I don't have a list of officials here, so I can't tell you who it is. Let me just double check here.
The scary part about that looked like it was non-contact because the play was all the way on our far left side, and he's towards the middle of the field, so you hope he's okay.
And the training staff is out there. Josh Schul, Mark Belmore. The doctors are out there. And he's up. That's good. Sitting up.
Yeah.
Kind of doing the head, how you take your neck to loosen it up
yeah.
and spinning your head around. He just pulled one of those. So that is good news. it's not that muggy here. There were a couple of days this week where it was a little uncomfortable. And he's up, standing up. That's good news. So a round of applause from the Argo and Ticat fans here tonight.
You know how sometimes players, we say there's a sniper out there?
Yeah.
Hopefully that was just what it was for him. He tripped over the imaginary line, and he's going to be okay.
He's not limping.
Yeah.
Much.
It might be a sniper situation because he's smiling right now. So that's good. That's good news.
It's when you don't see it and you don't know what's happening.
Scary.
Those are the scary ones.
Yeah.
And it was so far behind the play. Like the screen was around the 50-yard line.
Right.
The Ticat 50, so the far 50. He was down at the 24. So it's the back judge. I don't have the list of officials, so I can't tell you who that is. But when all is said and done, he's okay. They're now going to go with one less official, which these guys actually practice. They know the drill. Seriously,
Yeah.
they've done UE games and stuff like that. So they know the drill. And the Ticats face a 2nd and 17 from their own 33. From the left hash mark, 3 receivers will come to the field. Morton back to pass. Quick hitter on the slant. It is caught to the 40, to the 45. They'll get about 10 or 15 back, but it's well short of the first down as the Argos play a pretty loose zone.
Yeah, they're gonna give that up all day, especially 2nd and long. They're gonna give that up all day and hope he could nickel and dime all the way down the field. But that was his best throw of the game. I know the Argos are giving that up, but that was on time. That was on target. He hit his back foot, 3-step drop, delivered or strike.
So we got the 21-yard field goal from Beatty to make it 7-3 after the 99-yard return by Lawrence Woods that opened the scoring, and we're at the end of the first quarter. Here's something I'd like you to do. I don't ask for much. Okay, sometimes I do, but I usually don't ask for much. Thank you for joining us on the live stream. I'm really curious to see where you're listening from or viewing tonight. Hit me up on Twitter, at Mike Hogan Argos, and let me know where you're watching. Are you watching from the GTA, or I don't mean like are you watching from your couch?
Right.
Like, let me know what city you're in, which
basement.
province. Some people were asking, is this going to be available in the States? To be honest, I don't know, and I'm kind of curious to find out because we had some people reaching out from the States to let us know that they were curious to watch the Argos tonight. Obviously, friends and family back home. Potentially seeing one of their loved ones play for the first time in the CFL if they weren't able to see the game last week in Ottawa, or their family member or friend wasn't playing last week. So at Mike Hogan Argos, very easy to remember. Even for Nate. That's Nate Ajay. He played here. He played in Edmonton. But best remembered as a Montreal Alouette.
Come on.
It's a gag. He signed with the Alouettes in 2020. There was no season and didn't get to play there.
It's a comedy roast, guys.
Hope
you're enjoying the show.
That signing now to me is the gift that keeps on giving. So I'm very happy about that.
So am I.
Well, yeah, you got out of it. Now look at you, Mr. Broadcast Maven.
To hang out with you.
Yeah,
Come on.
well, sure, that's the bad that goes with the good. McLeod Bethel Thompson opening quarter, 6 of 11 for 74 yards, no picks, no interceptions. Jalen Morton, 3 of 5 for 14 yards with a pick. That's pretty good defense.
Wow, pretty good defense. I mean, if I'm Corey Mace, I'm really happy right now.
Well, I can do the math here. 27. They had 30 yards of offense in the first quarter, 3-0. Now Dane Evans ain't playing, right? So it's
but you'll take it.
Yeah,
you'll take it.
Javon Leake had a really nice return last time out with a couple of interesting jukes, and we'll see what he dials up here. This is not a good punt again, but it's a directional punt that lands inbounds and rolls out of bounds, barely inbounds. So a good directional punt, no return. The Argos will take over at the 25-yard line, and yes, the starting offense is coming back out, led by McLeod Bethel Thompson.
That's a good run for them. I mean, for whole first quarter, first action, live in-game action. You wanna get a rhythm that you can carry into the season. I don't know what his schedule is, but this might be one of the final drives that he has. So you want to end off on a good note if you're this starting group.
Okay, we have a leader in terms of international views. Dump off here on first down to Leak, and the returner / running back will take it out to the 29-yard line. Watching from 2:15 in the morning in The Hague, Netherlands. Thank you, Jason. Leave it to an Argo fan named
Netherlands.
Jason
Yeah.
to be
That's
watching.
a great name for an Argos fan. Come on.
That's outstanding. Jennifer in New York City, thank you. Alexis in Bob Cajun. Angelo in Scarborough. The Argo Diva from home in Markham.
Oh.
And an incomplete pass
sun
looking
again.
for Tavares Daniels downfield. Now I'm more interested in where people are watching. Oh, Tom Lava's watching. Their son Jake is in the lineup tonight for the Argos.
There
Welcome
it
to the
is.
Double Blue family.
Yeah, so we talked about the sun, affecting the play here tonight. McLeod Bethel Thompson is throwing a timing pattern to Tavares Daniels. He makes his break, he looks back, and all he sees is Mother Nature's son in the way, and the ball goes streaming by his head.
Good Beatles reference.
Now
Mother
the Argos
Nature's son.
the Argos are
good.
punting.
And this is not a great one from Flaherty, and or from Haggerty. And it will take a good bounce as well. And the return will come down the sideline outside the 40 to the 43. First down for the Toronto Argonauts. Or for the Hamilton Ticats. See, I'm thinking about these great
Preseason.
folks we have. And, I'm
Yeah.
in preseason.
Let's hear
There
some
we
more.
go.
That's pretty fun.
Okay, what do we got here? New Jersey. Thank you, Bob.
We're international, Hoagie.
We got Oakville. We got Meaford. Oh, hi, Diane. She used to work with the Argos. Hi, Di. Jim Martin from Wasaga Beach.
Ooh.
Justin from Mississauga.
Yeah, Justin, what up, man?
44-yard line. Morton at quarterback. Ground game first down. Nope, nothing there. Gain of 2. Now they get into the rugby scrum. We'll call it 3. Good job by the front four for the Argos.
Yeah, I mean, I remember last year, with that how stout the Argos' run defense was, right? And just adding to that, we talked about this team off air adding to their weaknesses, but they also added to some of their strengths because, run stopping was a big strength for them, right? And then you add in these extra defensive linemen, especially on the edge, Jaguar Davis, Shane Ray healthy. It's just going to be unreal to watch this team when the bullets are flying for real.
Davis on the field now at right end for the Argos. Second down and 7. Quick in, it is caught, and that will be a first down for Donnell Williams and the Ticats across midfield. 7-3 Ticats, 12.5 left here in quarter 2.
Yeah, Morton's kind of settled in here, right? The last 2 drives, you've seen 2 of his best throws, especially on these slant patterns, and he had a rough first quarter. I mean, he could have had 2 interceptions, but he's kind of settled back in, and that's what you look for young players because he's not going to get a lot of reps when the season happens, so he's going to remember these moments, and he'll look to get better from them.
Draw play. That was well drawn up. Hoyt gets in there, gets a lick in. Can't finish, though. And Sean Oakman said, I'll take the tackle. I'm good with that. Gain of 1 or 2, maybe. Second and long.
Sean Oakman, I mean, if you ever get a chance to meet him, one of the more impressive athletes you'll ever see, 6'8". You think Willie Jefferson's a big man, but Sean Oakman, you add, 20, 30 pounds and a couple inches and just as vicious, but on the inside. And you see why he was an all-star last season in his first year in the CFL.
And he destroyed the Ticats. Like, that was the games that he got up for. I think he had 4 sacks in 3 games.
Yeah.
Morton, quick hitter, and that one just did not work. Timing was off. Good news for the Argos. Well defended. Going to be 3rd down and 9. And the punt unit will go out. 7-3 Ticats. We'll see if the Argos can put one up.
Yeah, timing was off, and Morton's footwork looked to be all off, too, because it's a screen pass, but he looks like he's in a rush to get this ball out of there where he had time to let it set up. But those are the kind of things you want to see a young quarterback, kind of go through because, you're not going to get these reps when the season starts, right?
Darius Roberson is back for the Argos at the 15-yard line along with Javon Leake. Roberson out of Wayne State, 2-time all-conference there. Bad kick. Line drive. Roberson has a chance to return this. We'll take it to the 20 and step out of bounds at about the 23. And the Toronto Argonauts will put the ball in play with 11 minutes left, trailing 7-3. Okay, here we go. We got some time.
We got some more.
We got Elliot in Surrey, BC. We've got Daniel working in the States, watching from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Arlington, Texas. Hey, Damon. Dominican Republic. Hi, Catherine. We're doing like worldwide tonight.
The Dominican, come on.
Okay, here's our leader, Gareth from Kingston, Ontario.
You heard Mississauga a couple times, and you had to sneak Kingston in there, huh?
Got to get the center of the universe in there. Athens, Georgia. Sweet Willie T. That's awesome. 35-year season ticket holder. Hasn't missed a Grey Cup since 92. Home of REM, Athens, Georgia. Home of the B-52s, Athens, Georgia. That's a great music town. Let's see. Doug is watching the live stream from Edmonton. Thank you, Doug.
Hey, what's up, Doug?
Diane, Australian.
Oh, man.
Nice. Her last name is Haggerty with 2 G's.
Come on.
Watching from Australia. Do you think maybe? Darson, big Argos fan, watching from home in Etobicoke. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, the previous Jason watching from The Hague. I didn't see the hashtag. It said Oski Wee Wee. Black and Gold has corrected me, said, put your glasses on. Jason's obviously a Tiger Cat fan. They must be, because nobody else says that dumb thing, whatever that is. Thank you for listening, Black and Gold. I can be corrected. I get it. Bad play-by-play guy. Peter, there's a regular watching from the Junction. Jeanette from the Hammer. Roberta, CFB Trenton. Nice. I lived, when I went to Loyalist College, on County Road, 22? Just north of the airbase. Mm-hmm. So I know the area well. Hi, Roberta. Okay, back to action here. McLeod Bethel Thompson. Ground game gives it to Javon Leake across the 25 or the 29. That'll be about 6 yards. Second and manageable.
I got to tell you something. This Leake, he's got some juice.
Yeah.
He has got some juice. Every time he touches the rock, I mean, his feet are moving. He's got some cuts. I was talking to Juwan Breskinson before the game, and he told me he reminds him of Roy Finch. You remember the returner for Calgary?
Right, yeah.
Very shifty guy, but he says obviously he's not as shifty because he's a lot bigger, but that's high praise for Javon Leake.
Mack drops back. There's a blitz. He picks it up. He gets the ball off underneath on the crossing route. It's complete, but short of the first down. He hits Tavares Daniels. They will need a couple of yards, maybe one. And, there's gambling Ryan Dinwiddie. He's going to go for it. And they bring in the short yardage crew with Austin Simmons in at quarterback.
Why not?
They'll need a yard and a half, maybe.
You know why? You should gamble because if you get it, you get to see more reps of your offense out there. I mean, obviously you're not going to see your entire offense for the entire game. So you want to see as much of them as possible. So I can see an offensive coach gambling in this spot.
Simmons will step back, and he'll follow the guard, Philip Blake, on the left side. And I don't know.
It's going to be close.
It will be close. First down. They didn't even hesitate. Oh. I will bet that he fell forward on top of somebody and got a yard that we weren't able to see.
Hey, Simmons is an impressive fellow, though. Like, he doesn't wear sleeves, and I see why.
He's got
some guns.
Cannon. I mean, he threw one the other day. It was a reception. I think he put 75 in the air. Like, It was crazy how far he threw it. It would have gone at least 70 in the air. It was nuts. So you see what Dinwiddie likes. Certainly the arm strength. There's a blitz at work. Kelly got Leak in the backfield for a loss of a yard and a half. It'll be second and long.
Cameron Kelly, I mean, last year was his rookie year with the Ticats. He showed a lot, was able to start every single game for them, and he reads that from the jump, shoots the gap, is able to tackle Leak in the backfield.
He started every game. He didn't finish every game. He got kicked out of one in Edmonton, right? Yeah. That didn't go well. So it'll be second and 12 from their own 31. Ticats leading 7-3, 8.5 left here in the first half. 4 receivers will go to the wide side of the field. That's the way Bethel Thompson looks. Hits the man underneath. He's got Leak. He's got a blocker. 35, 40, 45 first down. They needed 12. They got 15. Nice play design to take everybody out. Yeah. Run the cross underneath, and it's a first down.
I mean, Javon Leak has got some juice for sure. This is like almost a check down type play where everybody's downfield, and he takes a 5-yard catch, ducks in between a couple of defenders, and, that acceleration, that juice, pick up that first down. That's impressive. It's impressive in the CFL, and he's got a spot, I think, on this team or or somebody's team.
I want to say this sentence. He blew by Simone Lawrence. 1st and 10. Quick hitter this time. They've got him in. It's Speedy B. He'll take it across midfield, and he'll get the first down. They needed 10. They got 11. And that's what we've seen in camp.
Yeah.
He's quick. He's still quick. He's still speedy.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? If your name is Speedy, do you ever stop being quick? Because even if you get old, like compared to other 40-year-olds or 50-year-olds, you're still fast, right?
You're still speedy. You'll always be speedy.
It's good to
He'll
see
be
him
in a retirement home at 108 years old, and he'll still be speedy. Back to pass, Bethel Thompson under pressure, gets rid of it, has a man crossing route, ambles across the 45, down to the 40-yard line, and Markeith Ambles, who led the Calgary Stampeders with 54 catches last year, comes up with a first down, and he's that guy that they wanted to find at R last year, and nobody really grabbed it. Well, he's trying to.
Ambles is an underrated signing for this team, especially a guy that has CFL experience, has experience in Coach Dinwiddie's offense. And, you remember Ricky Collins coming in late last year and almost leading the team in receptions? I can see Ambles doing the same things. An extremely good receiver.
4 to the near side. They go the other way with Leak down to the 40-yard. 7-3 Ticats. My name is Mike Hogan. That's Natea J. He played here with the Toronto Argonauts and Edmonton, and we're your little radio team this year. And thank you for joining us. You made the effort tonight to find us at argonauts.ca, so we appreciate that. Thank you so much. And it's just great to be talking football and watching football, and we're getting closer to the June 16th home opener. Need you there. Need you loud. Big game to start the season. 3 receivers near side. Kelly comes on the blitz again, and McLeod gets it over through just behind Richardson, who was open at the 25-yard line. The timing thrown off because of the blitz, but Richardson was open, which is what he has been doing so often in camp.
This is what the Ticats have been doing all night long. Second down, they've been bringing pressures, and at times it's gotten McLeod Bethel Thompson to rush his footwork. And that time he had to rush his footwork, or he's going to take a hit to get that ball off. But the danger of the blitz is you're leaving holes in your defense. That time Richardson found a hole, just couldn't get the ball in his hands, or he may be in the end zone right now.
Boris Beatty comes in for the field goal attempt from 47, just inside the left hash mark. A little bit of a
Chip
breeze
shot?
side. For him, it's a chip shot. 47, it's got the leg. Does it have the distance? No, he misses it to the right. And it will be returned, which might not be the best idea, but catching the corner and getting a few extra yards is Dejan Lee.
That's our boy Eli Menser right there with the tackle.
Eli Menser's like the most fun guy you can watch on special teams. He barely played last year and led the team in special teams tackles, and he plays with such, I love football, and I want to go hit somebody.
Joy. Like even the mundane tasks, like running down on kickoff, running down on field goal to hit someone. He's excited. He gets up. He's screaming like he's a rock star. So, you love to see that enthusiasm for the mundane things in football.
So the score remains 7-3 for the Ticats. We have 5:20 remaining here in the first half. For the halftime show, Nathan and I are going to talk. We don't juggle. I don't know. Do you do any magic tricks that would?
No.
You could run down on the field.
I can maybe catch a football. Maybe. That's not going to be impressive.
You're not Speedy anymore.
No, I am not. And my nickname was never Speedy. So.
Did you ever have a decent handle? Like, did somebody ever drop a good nickname on you?
No.
No?
Because my name is Natea J, right? So it's already unique. So I never had a nickname.
People they could have called you A-Team. They could have called you something like that with Natea J.
Yeah, never. Never. I wish. I always wanted a nickname. I'm like, how come everybody gets a nickname? And I'm just Tay or Natea. It's like, because we can't say your name. That's why. So.
Or you're just really boring and don't deserve a nickname.
Yeah.
There could be that element as well.
Yeah.
Let's see. Argos tonight, a little shorthanded to say the least. 19 players by my count who had a shot of either starting or could still start or making the roster. 19 out of the lineup tonight. 15 injured Canadians right now.
Unreal.
Most of them are just little things. Almost all.
That's the sport, though, right? No, but that's what sucks about the game and these camps, because it's such a short period of time that if you're hurt, it's almost impossible to make a CFL team, right? So you feel for the guys for sure.
Rotating guys through. Adrian Tracy, sort of the third Ti-Cat that came over here this year after 5 years in Tiger Town, playing the right end, and the running game will get not much again. Although second effort, the pile moves from the 15 to the 19, so that ended up probably a little bit better than it should, as it was Hills with the carry. Wes Hills sets up a second down and maybe 3. Defensive line tonight, missing Deontay Knight, Michael Pizzuto, the rookies, and Ja'Kai Polite. Linebackers, Jack Kassar, Brandon Calver, Daniel Quemu, another rookie. High snap. The timing just did not work, and a flag comes down as it will be Hills spinning for first down yardage. But what's the call? It's holding against the Ti-Cats at the point of attack. So
Robbie
this will
Smith,
make it.
wreaking havoc back there.
I went up to Robbie. Robbie looks so. He made a play in practice where he read a screen that he would not have made a year ago. Like, you can see that the physicality has always been there, and now the game's starting to slow down for him a little bit. He's diagnosing plays on the fly, and the Argos took him a couple of years ago as the 9th overall pick in the draft, and he's showing why now.
Yeah. And those are the kind of things you love to see from young players, like when you can see their development in real time. Yeah. It's phenomenal, because once guys start putting it together, right, the physical with the mental, that's when they hit their prime.
Second and 12 and a half, we'll call it, from just inside the 10. Morton is going to look long down the sideline, and incomplete. Looked like Priester was going to go in and pick that off, or absolutely unload on the intended receiver, Donnell Williams.
I'll tell you what, Morton, we call this pass, I don't know if you guys can see it, this is a hospital ball. Because what happens to the receiver?
I have not heard that one before.
He's going to end up in the hospital, because he's telegraphing that pass their entire way, and it's almost a cover 2 look where you have a guy underneath and a guy over top. You're trying to fit it in between, and a lot of times, like, throw has to come when you're, looking the other way, looking the defense off, and then you come back to it. Not when you stare down their entire way. The receiver's going to end up in the hospital. So Morton is going to have a lot of teach tape to learn from after this game.
Blake Hayes stands in the end zone. He'll get this one away, and again, not a great kick. Here comes Leak. He'll take it at midfield. He'll cut to the middle of the 50, spins off outside 45, dives forward to the 42-yard line, and that's where the Argos will take over. Score is 7-3 Ti-Cats, 3.5 minutes remaining. And, an Argo Ti-Cat game has broken out.
It's not an Argo Ti-Cat game if there's at least one fight, right?
Royce Mechie is used to rivalry games in the CFL, but Calgary-Edmonton.
Yeah.
With apologies to folks in Alberta, and you played in it, that ain't nothing compared to this one.
I played in both of them, and Royce Mechie hit me hard in one of them. I don't know. You have to have words, but yeah, that's the Royce Mechie I know right there.
And talking to a couple guys who've seen him, and Josh Bell had him in Calgary. He said he looks like a different guy to me. Like, he's playing with such confidence. He made one play. Think of the play Matt Black made in the end zone, the Grey Cup, the clincher, where he came all the way across, where he saw what was happening before and beelined it. Mechie made one of those plays where he saw it develop and hauled rear end and became the second guy in and made the interception. It was almost a carbon copy, and he did it right at the corner of the end zone. He's been doing that, and, if you were going to fight him, if you're the Ti-Cat, you don't want to do it here. He gets home field advantage. He's a University of Guelph product.
Yeah. Yeah, so, you never know. You fight him, he'll have people waiting for you after the game. This is his home, man.
He is from Brampton. Not a bad month and change for the Mechie family, as his brother John scored some big dollars. Second-round pick in the NFL. Houston, right? Houston Texans.
Yeah.
And, it is a football family. His brother Miles played here at Guelph. Leon played at St. Mary's. So, the 4 brothers all made it to at least the OUA, which is tough enough to do. And 2 of them playing pro, one here, one there.
It's funny how the youngest brother always, is the best. He gets beat up a little bit, but then he gets to see how his brothers, their steps they take, the mistakes they make, and he's able to, if he wants it enough and he's got that DNA to keep fighting it. Every family I know, the youngest brother is always one of the best athletes.
Let me throw this out. So you're growing up, and you think you're a pretty good athlete, right? You're a pretty good receiver, and then you think about everybody in the GTA, and all they want to do is maybe get a D1 look.
Yeah.
Now you look at the guys playing in Texas and Florida and California, and all they want to do is play D1, right? And you got the best receivers in the country. They all want to go to a Power 5 conference.
Yeah.
Where do they want to go? They want to go to Alabama. Who's the best receiver in Alabama last year? A kid from Brampton.
That's unreal.
Think about that.
I've been thinking about that, and I've been a big fan of his brother, just because I know how hard it is to just start at Alabama.
Matt comes near side, completes to Tavares Daniels. Pride of Chicago down to the 18-yard line, and that is good for what are you saying oh no for?
Tavares Daniels is pointing to the sideline for him to get Alden Darby out the game, and that just means he's hurt already.
Oh, jeez. Oh, okay. I was looking for Argos. It's Darby, pick six?
Pick six, Darby.
Popular former Argo.
Yeah. And you hate to see that, whether it's a Ticat or Argo in a preseason game.
Yeah, exactly.
But that play right there, the timing is on for McLeod Bethel-Thompson and Tavares Daniels. He spent every day at camp healthy.
Got a man. He's got Speedy and just in and out of the hands at the 10-yard line. Looked like a good ball. Don't know if Speedy just the sun is down, so there are no shadows at this point. And we won't take the 3-minute warning because we're not doing commercials because we're here for you tonight on Argonauts.ca.
That looked like a good ball. I don't think Speedy's quite used to the way McLeod Bethel-Thompson can whip that wide side because it gets on you. Like, I talking to guys, the receivers, like when you're not used to it, he's got one of the best fastballs, and it gets on you because it's always a tight spiral. So it looks slow, then the next thing you know, it's in your hands. So Speedy's still getting used to that.
It's tough because I'm sure after Mac's done that his entire career, there's part that says, okay, he's that open, you want to take something off the football. But if you start thinking about taking something off the football, you're going to miss him by 6 yards.
You're going to miss him, or it's going to be a pick six.
Yeah.
So you got to throw it the same every single time.
Who are you knocking
Tristan Douglan, he played at Guelph, and he played in the CFL for Saskatchewan.
And he's here watching?
He's here watching, yeah.
You know who else is supposed to be here?
Who's that?
Chad Kelly's uncle is supposed to be here tonight.
Kelly. Oh, wow.
Hall of Famer, Jim Kelly. Familiar with his work?
He's supposed to. I may have heard him.
He was coming up, apparently he was coming up with the former Argo offensive coordinator, John Jenkins.
Okay.
I think they were together in Houston in the U.S. maybe.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a legend.
Like, so he's supposed to be here somewhere.
Yeah.
And Chad's wearing number 12. He wore it growing up, but he never wore it in the NCAA or JUCO, as seen on Last Chance U. Chad Kelly was the guy that just left for Ole Miss.
It's always interesting when you got a family member that's so famous. Like you almost feel like whatever you do, like they're always gonna be like that legendary figure. But it's so cool for him to honor his uncle like that and have his uncle so close.
Yeah.
I mean, Buffalo. I went to school in Buffalo. That's about an hour and a half away, so he's going to be at a lot of games this year.
That's where Chad is from. So a lot of fans and friends will be coming up. Family members, 18-yard line, 2nd and 10.
Free play.
No, was that offside? I think the Argos jumped.
They let it go.
Side. They're going to go to the goal line. It's going to be incomplete, looking for Curley. I think the receiver on the far end went early, which may have caused the Ticats to jump.
I always find it funny when it is an offside on the offense, they still let the play go because, if you're used to watching down south football, the play stops if it's an offensive foul, but down here you never know.
Yeah, the timing was off.
Yeah. I was just watching the lineman and it looked like
5 yards offside. What was the old Bob Euchre line? Just a bit outside. It's just a bit offside. And we're going to see Beatty come in after hitting from 21, missing from 47. This will be a 25-yarder. Jake Reinhardt is the snapper. John Haggerty, the holder. Hi, Haggerty family in Australia.
It's got to be Saturday there right now, right? Living in the future.
Kick is up. It's a BD3. He got it. 7-6. It is a 1-point lead now after Beatty kicks his second field goal. Although, settling for the 3s, not 6s in the first half against Hamilton.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
But it is an preseason game. Lots to like from the Argos tonight, aside from the fact that they haven't been able to finish it off.
Yeah, I mean, just think about this game and guys that have popped. I mean, we talk about it over and over, but Javon Leak, man, it's just impressive watching him get the ball in his hands and just seeing he's got juice. That's all I can say. He's got the juice. And obviously Andrew Harris is going to be the starting running back, but there's a role for a guy like him on this team, especially because we saw what Dinwiddie did with Foster last year.
Jalen Morton just threw a dart to Emmanuel Butler, and he paid for it. But it will be a gain of about 9.5, second and really short.
If I'm a receiver for Hamilton, after this game, I'm going to have a talk with Morton because a couple of times he put
hospital
balls. He's put some guys' careers in danger.
We just call those suicide passes.
Yeah.
I've never heard hospital balls, so that's they're actually in the pistol on 2nd and a half a yard, and they will get the first down anyway, as taking it for the first down was Hills, his third carry of the night for probably around 11 yards now. First down, Ticats. Ticats lead 7-6, inside 2 minutes remaining in quarter number 2. A 99-yard punt return by Lawrence Woods, the difference. Aside from that, it's been mostly Argos tonight.
Yeah. It has. Just got to clean up, getting on the other opponent's side and finishing off drives. You don't want us to be selling for threes, but definitely a good start for the starting offense.
Morton back to pass, has some time, closes quickly, gets the ball underneath. It is complete to Keandre Smith.
Yeah, Morton has shown the ability to, deliver a nice, accurate ball when his feet are settled under him and he understands where to go. It's just the other stuff that you can't have, but that's good job by him learning from his past.
Keandre Smith played here at Guelph as well. He's got some Argo bloodlines. His dad is Adrian Smith, who played with the Argos and Ticats, and his godfather is some guy named Pinball. That's got to kill him seeing him in Tiger Cat colors.
It doesn't feel good.
Yeah. Ground game. Once again, they're going to give it to Hills, and once again, it's going to be stopped.
What can you do? Yard. As a rookie, you don't get to pick where you go. Right?
There it is. Again, short yardage. Tony Jones coming in late to help out. He just looks like a football player. He played at Texas Tech. He's from Florida, but he looks like he played at Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Second down and 9 from the 44. Clock moving inside a minute now. Morton back to pass, looking, rolling, looking, steps out to the right, rolling, looking, looks intermediate, and throws it to lane 1 on the track. And it will stop the clock with 48 seconds left and set up a third down and 9 from the 45. It would be a 52-yard field goal attempt. And Seth Small, the punter, is going to come out.
Yeah, just watching Morton, I mean, every time.
Oh, no, he's going to come out and try the field goal. Hayes is going to come out as a holder, it looks like.
No, but just speaking about Morton, every time he gets on the move, it looks like, it's difficult for him to complete passes on the move. He's more comfortable with his feet settled in the pocket. And in the CFL, you got to work on that. You got to master that because a lot of these times, these pockets, the best plays come from broken plays.
51-yard field goal is good.
Wow.
He got it.
Wow.
So that'll be 3 more for the Ticats, who answer the BD 3 and extend the lead rather to 10-6. As we get closer and closer to halftime, Argos will get a chance to put some points up on the board. 42.7 seconds left. Isn't it funny? You get used to the BD leg,
right?
Where that one kind of gets over by a couple of yards.
Yeah. You're like, what is this?
Boris would have kicked it out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I bet it's like, back in the day when you'd watch like Tiger Woods drive up, down the fairway, and then Mike Weir comes back, and it's like, okay, it's not the same.
So McLeod is going to stay in and drop back, 4-man rush. He's going to go to the far line. He's got a man open across midfield.
Markeith.
It is Markeith Ambles once again.
Smooth. Underrated player, man. Underrated signing. I mean, a lot of, Speedy B, there's DeVaris Daniels, there's Eric Rogers, but, I see him in that Ricky Collins role where he can do everything in this offense, catching screens, going deep, intermediate stuff.
Quick hit near side, has a man. It is caught. And that is going to be a very late flag. Cam Phillips made the catch, and he's been another guy who has just flashed so many times at camp. Deep balls, underneath stuff. Is that going to be the face mask?
Yeah,
yes, it is.
That late.
Foxcroft with the call. And it is a first down Argos with 24 seconds left. So time really not that much of a factor because they're going to get 3, maybe 4 plays in here.
Yeah.
If they hurry.
After every play, the clock stops under 3 minutes in the CFL, so lots of time.
And on the penalty, it stops. 30 at the 30-yard line, Bethel Thompson back to pass, looking, comes near sideline, has a man on the curl. It is caught, not out of bounds, though. DeVaris Daniels has the catch. And it will be a first down inside the 20 to the 18 as the Argos run up to the line of scrimmage. Clock stops until the official blows it in. They've got the opportunity now with 19.3 seconds left to get maybe 3 plays in if they hurry. Bethel Thompson. Quick hitter near side, has a man at the numbers. It is caught down to the 11 or 12-yard line. That's A.J. Richardson with the catch.
Probably time for one more play, then you got to decide. You got to go to the end zone on this play right there, though.
Yeah, you do, no question. They've got to get it going, though. In case it's incomplete, they'll get another chance. Back to pass. Bethel Thompson wants to go end zone. He does. Back of the end zone, and it is knocked away. With 2 seconds left. And the Argos will get an opportunity to get that 3 points back that Small just added for the Ticats.
Not bad. Not a bad drive by the Argos there, especially got a chance to work on your 2-minute offense.
Yeah.
Things
your 42-second offense.
Exact 42-second offense. A lot of great chemistry between McLeod, Bethel Thompson, and DeVaris Daniels. A lot of timing routes where, you get to work on live and then be able to carry that into the season. So lots of positivity there. Just want to see you knock it in for a touchdown. That's it. That's what plagued this team last year, and you want to see them rectify that early this season.
It's number 3, BD3. This half for the Argos on the final play of the first 30 minutes, and 10-9 for the Tabby Kitties. So here's our halftime show. Ta-da! It's the two of us. Ta-da! Try the veal. We'll be here all night.
I always hated it last year when we had to go to commercial breaks. I'd be just starting to talk.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell a story here. Yeah. This is good. This is a good one.
Yeah.
So Peter Martin and I were doing the games. This was the John Heward year of 2000. It's my first year doing play-by-play. Pete is in his, I believe, 312th year of doing color that year. So it's a good relationship, and it was a bad Argos team, right? So we're playing a game at home and at the Rogers Center. And Pete and I go to the dearly departed Joe Badali's after the game for a beer. Mm-hmm. We walk in, and there's a group of Argo fans. They give us a standing ovation. And it's like, what? What's going on? They said, you guys, and you will know where I'm going with this, because we have interesting conversations at time when the mics are not on,
right.
But the mics are on in our feed so we can talk to each other. I said, what was it? They said, your conversations were going on in the concourse at the Rogers Center, and we could hear them. Now, this was a really bad team.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Luckily it didn't go on the air.
Right.
And luckily Pete and I don't swear when the microphones are on, although with this team we were tempted.
Right.
But they would have been hearing things like, this team can't tackle in the concourse.
Right.
So these fans said they were going up to the concourse or going out for a smoke.
Right.
Because we were more entertaining than the game was. So we learned. Yeah, we're good to go. We're good? Yeah, I know we're on. Yeah, we're telling stories. Armando's here. He's taking over as the producer of the show. We're good.
He was going to step in because apparently I was taking too long on the field talking to players. And
you were late. I didn't know you were here.
Yeah. I saw Ferguson, Breskinson, all my Canadians, so had to catch up.
Nice.
Also looking for Simone Lawrence, but he was nowhere to be found.
Here are some numbers for you. The Argo defense limited Jalen Morton to 44 yards passing in the first half. That's a win, and they got an interception. Rushing, Jalen Morton was their leading rusher, along with Wes Hills. They had 13 each. Sean Thomas Erlington had 7, so 26. 33 yards rushing, 44 yards passing is, I'm not great at math, 77 total yards in a half. So the defense did its job. McLeod Bethel Thompson, 15 of 24 for 183. No touchdowns, no picks. I bet it's better than that because they have Boris Beatty 1 for 2. So that's obviously a mistake that will get corrected in the final game numbers. A.J. Ouellette, not a great rushing attack by the Argos tonight. 5 for 14. McLeod 1 for 9. Leak 3 for 5. Simmons 1 for 1. Top receiver for the Argos, Tavares Daniels, 4 for 43. Brandon Banks has been targeted 7 times tonight. He's caught 3 of them for 34. Ambles 2 for 31. Gittins 1 for 26. Ouellette 2 for 20. Leak 2 for 19. Richardson 1 for 8. Cam Phillips 1 for 6. So they spread it around, which is what you expect.
Yeah.
Over the course of a preseason game, see everybody get in. Your thoughts, I guess, overall, big picture before we start talking about some of the individual performances.
Yeah, big picture. It looks like McLeod Bethel Thompson. I mean, just watching the ball come off his hands, it's always pretty. It's always a sight to behold. His timing looks like it's there with guys like even Speedy Banks, targeted 7 times, but the timing is there. He's getting the ball where it should be. The catches will come once he gets used to catching McLeod Bethel Thompson's passes in a live game scenario. But it's there with Tavares Daniels, and you saw that a bunch of times where he was able to get first downs on timing patterns. The only time he didn't catch it, I think, was when the sun was in his eyes for Tavares. So that looks good so far. Javon Leak, another guy, we talked about it over and over. He's got some juice to him, and the ball's in his hands. He's going to be a weapon this year. I can see RD licking his chops saying, okay, he can be in that Foster role where running back, receiver, packages, and try to get the ball in his hands whatever way they can, whether it's returning, punt returning. But he's going to play a factor this season. I can already see it right now watching this game. He's got some juice. Defensively, I mean, you talked about it, holding Morton to 44 yards passing. It looked like that. He couldn't really get any passes off except for the ones they wanted him to get off with the 2 slants. And he probably should have had 2 interceptions there, putting the ball in harm's way. But you love to see the aggressiveness of the defense. You love to see guys buying in to the system. It looks like a deep defensive line that's going to play a factor when injuries start happening. You start getting deep in the season. But overall, fun team. It's a fun team to watch so far, and good signs. Just hope that everybody stays healthy.
Shall we go back to Twitter? Because there are like way many people saying that we're watching from this spot. Kevin isn't an Argos fan, but watching from Stony Creek. Kevin, you can become an Argos fan. Home opener, June 16th, Montreal in town at 7:30. Richard Buchanan, watching from Indianapolis, Indiana. Thank you. Jeffrey Flagel. Last name Flagel, watching from Atlanta, Georgia. Could it be a relative of Connor, perhaps? Jeffrey, Connor's a very large human being. He's one of the new defensive linemen for the Argos this year. 6'5", 300. And can't wait to get a look at him here in the second half. Wellsboro, Pennsylvania is where Kathy is watching from tonight. Thank you for that. We got east of Toronto. Sydney, Australia. Another Haggerty. The Haggertys are all over the place tonight. Drew, 10th season as an Argos fan, watching from Hubbard, Ohio. Thank you for that. We've got Brampton covered off. Oh, the guy in the Hague. Argos fan, my bleep. Thanks, Jason. My bad. But there is still hope for you. You can see the light. You don't have to cheer for the Tiger Cats. But we thank you for watching. Jason Claro's watching. Suey from
up,
Port Credit. There we go.
Jason.
Waterloo. There we go. That's covered off. Thank you. Who's that? Sean.
Wait,
Thank you for
are you skipping over all the Mississauga people?
No.
I've seen a couple of Mississauga.
No, those are retweeting the people.
Okay.
You just see it on. You see what you want. Hey, there we go. Mackenzie, another one. Watching from Kingston.
Everybody from Kingston watching
That's it. Let's see. There's another Oski Wee Wee from Langley, BC. See, this is good. The Ticat fans prefer listening to the Argo broadcast because
Right.
they know. They deep down, they want to be Argos fans. From Tomahawk, Alberta, a Ticats fan. Another Ticat fan listening. Let's see. Ticats fan living in Ottawa. Look at this.
How?
Look at all the Ticats fans listening to Argo. Another one. Me too. Oski Wee Wee. There we go. Jason saying thank you for acknowledging the air. Well, he didn't say thank you, but welcome to the Argo broadcast. Let's see. Who else we have? Bowmanville. Is Josh Haggerty dressed tonight? I believe Swaggerty.
No, he's not.
No, he's not, actually.
Swaggerty is not. I talked to him before the game. He's got some minor that he's taking care of, but he told me to relay this message. When the game starts, he will be back to Swaggerty.
Liam Howe from the Howe family, the big Argo fans. He's in Newcastle, England, but isn't able to listen. But his dad obviously is. Hi, Bill. Mark listening from, obviously Kingston, officially the center of the universe. That's good. Appreciate that. We've got Argo Vader watching from Peterborough. Doesn't have Twitter, but passed it along. Mississauga. So we got some good ones tonight. So thank you for listening. Maybe we'll get to some of those later. We're scrolling through them. I'm kind of, I don't want to say astonished. We were hoping that we were going to get this kind of listenership / viewership. Again, for those of you who are just joining us, if you're listening to an Argo broadcast for the first time, we're the radio crew.
Yeah.
The radio, we didn't get to do it tonight, so we decided to live stream it, and we're doing it with pictures. So it's basically what's being shown on the scoreboard. We're doing a radio broadcast, so I'm doing some radio things that normally I wouldn't do if I was calling a TV game. So
right.
just if you hear me saying they're moving right to left, it's because I'm used to doing radio. But we thank you for listening. In all sincerity, and obviously some family members, that's what we expect. And that's, sometimes it's difficult to get the link to watch your loved one play up here. And we're thrilled. This really is a close-knit group of kids and men already who really are establishing themselves as a unit. So everybody who's a part of this is a part of this, whether they're McLeod Bethel Thompson or the last guy on the roster right now worrying about what tomorrow's going to be like. Yeah. They're part of what's going on here in Toronto, and we think this could be a pretty good season.
Yeah. We talked about it even off air, even on paper, teams showing up the weaknesses, right, and even showing up the strengths. I mean, on top to bottom on paper, it's a better team than last year, and last year's team finished first in the East, right? Yeah. So we're expecting big things from the team this year, and they're all likable guys. I mean, especially for the CFL, most teams have guys that are extremely likable, but this team especially, it's got something special. So, if you can, come out, support, watch, and if you can't, listen and watch on TV. But this is a special team, and we see some big things happening this season.
Here, okay. Danny Webb is the equipment manager here, for those who don't know. Yeah. Webby has been here, and I'm not making this up, since 1985. Every year, and you played pro ball, every year there are one or two guys that come in and just they're tough to deal with. Yeah. They're not good with the equipment crew, or it's just, for whatever reason they've got a tood. I said to Danny yesterday, the day before, okay, how many you got this year? Meaning, how many jerks are there? He said, nobody. Like he said, this is. That's impossible. He was still waiting.
Yeah.
And he says at some point, probably, maybe one, but he was, and Danny complains about everything.
Yeah.
Look at
the weather today.
Look at the word curmudgeon, and there's Webb. We love Dan. I kid because I love.
Yeah.
But Danny was like, this was not in front of a group of people. He said, there's nobody this year. He said, everybody's been great.
That's
and maybe that's some self-policing, right? Because there are a lot of veterans in here, and if you're a new guy or somebody who has the occasional bad day, the last thing you want to do is let down, your guard against McLeod Bethel Thompson or Enoch Mwamba or Speedy Banks or Andrew Harris
Tracy's in that group.
Adrian Tracy, all of those guys, Winton McManus, all of these guys who have leadership skills. Deshaun Amos has come in here, and not a vocal guy in terms of you got to do it this way, but he's another coach out there. He'll go over and say, hey, I saw this.
Yeah.
There are a lot of guys on this team like this, and I think maybe there's some peer pressure right now that, hey, this is a really good room. Let's not mess this thing up.
No, absolutely. And, even talking to the guys, last year, a couple guys were like, we should have had Hard Knocks in our locker room because there was a lot of stuff going on that, in the end helped us. But in the moment, we didn't know how it was going to turn out. But this year, it's like a whole nother focus. I know McLeod, what kind of leader he is, but he's the guy from day one, right? Like, how much can you lead when you're QB2? Not very much. But when you're QB1 and you say something, you're going to get people listening to you.
So here, McLeod Bethel Thompson came here in 2017. He was down on the depth chart. He was either 3 or 4, depending on which week it was. Because Ricky Ray was here. He was QB1. He wasn't going anywhere. Yeah. And when Ricky leaves, they bring in James Franklin. And it's, okay, who's going to win this team? And James Franklin was the favorite of the staff. He gets in there. And McLeod didn't show that side of his personality.
Yeah.
So I was working at TSN at the time. From arm's length, I had no idea McLeod Bethel Thompson had this kind of leadership skill. Franklin gets hurt or plays his way out of the job. McLeod comes in. I see a different guy. Totally different guy, because he knew in his, the 412 NFL situations he had been in, and, the other leagues and college and the transfer there. Like, he's been around pro football for a long time. He just sat back and waited and waited. And when he got the chance, it was like, okay, I have to lead off the field, and let's go. And maybe the best example, Argo fans will not want to remember this night, but I'll bring it up anyways. That 55-8 game in BC, the one that
I remember that.
Eventually cost Jim Pop his job.
Yeah, that was bad.
And the firing happens, but a lot of people remember James Franklin being interviewed at halftime with a smile on his face.
Yeah.
And then McLeod came in, and the score is 50-0 at the time, and he's, okay, let's go. Here we go. He was treating that situation like it was the Grey Cup.
Yeah.
And you could see, like, guys respond to that, where, okay, we're not going to win, but we're going to get better.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of stuff that he has, and I think that's why so many people want McLeod Bethel Thompson to, again, be an all-star like it was a year ago and be that guy that holds off. And it's really difficult because, you're a receiver. 5 of you get on the field at the same time.
Only one quarterback.
Do I want to see what Austin Simmons has?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do I want to see what Chad Kelly can do? Absolutely. But right now it's Mac, and as T.O. said, that's my quarterback. right? And you roll with the guy that's out there, and there's nobody that doesn't want to see McLeod come out and throw for 300 yards every game.
Absolutely. And that's another reason why these preseason games are so important, right? Because, like we talked about, if McLeod is healthy all season long, it's going to be a good team. Chad Kelly's not going to play, and if he's playing, it's probably something has gone wrong, and or it's either you've clinched and you're just sitting on your starters. But if it's important games and Chad Kelly's playing, something has gone wrong this season, and that's not a situation where you necessarily want. Right? We know he's going to be a good quarterback one day. This year might not be the year, right? But for McLeod Bethel Thompson, everybody's so excited for him because, his whole life outside of college, he's never been the number one guy, right? Coming into a training camp and leaving a training camp.
Not since, and maybe not at Sacramento State.
Right. So
or maybe one of those, he played like UFL or whatever.
Arena.
Yeah.
But at this level, this is a big deal for him, and you can tell how he treats it every single day, his interactions with his teammates. Like, it's a championship-type year, and I'm really excited to have him as QB1.
And he's just, and I know we're kind of waxing poetically here, but because of his background, where he has played for so many teams, how can you pull against the guy? Like, it's such a great story to be written, and you hope it has, like, the happiest of endings.
Right.
That ends with him with a great big shiny ashtray over his head in late November.
Right.
That's what you hope. And it would be great to see. So the Argos, who received the opening kickoff, will kick off here.
Was halftime over already? We just started talking. What happened? Now they're back on the field.
And we had a geography lesson. And again, thanks for everybody. Like, you made the effort tonight. There are some spectacular Argo fans who are listening tonight and viewing the live stream, and to those Ticap fans, honestly, like we kid again because we love. Like, some of my best friends around the CFL are either working for or are Ticat fans, family members, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing better than punking them before the game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cheering like hell against them during the game, and then going up for a beer with them afterwards and saying, okay, you got the best of us this time, or we got your better, the better view this time.
That's
Sociable.
what the CFL's all
CFL.
about, man.
Let's do it.
The CFL's all about.
So here's the kickoff, and the Ticats will take it back at their own 15-yard line on the return. Coming around to the near side for the Ticats across the 30-yard line is DeJohn Lee. So the Ticats will take over at the 31-yard line, and we'll see some of the new guys coming in now for the Toronto Argonauts as the ones are out. First down Ticats at their own 31-yard line. Score is 10-9 for the Ticats. A punt return for a touchdown for the Ticats, and then a whole bunch of field goals. 3 for the Argos, 1 for the Ticats. From the 31-yard line, that's where the Ticats will put it in play. It's a low snap, and it will be Newman at the quarterback as the Ticats say, "Hello, Newman," to their new quarterback, Jamie Newman. And it will be a run for about 7 yards. It'll be 2nd and 3.
Now this second half, I mean, there's some jobs, especially guys on the bubble, that are up for grabs. And you want to see who's going to take a hold of it, right? Who's going to stamp what they've done all through camp with a good performance in the second half and get a job. So I'm looking for who's going to shine out here.
2nd and 3. See if the Ticats dial up the run they wanted the first time. They do. And it got read perfectly. Just blown up right at the line of scrimmage. And now we get a flag as there was something going on at the bottom of the pile. I think that was Hoyt out there. That was Lava out there. Bunch of guys kicking around.
You got Ticats pointing at Argos, Argos pointing at Ticats. It's never good when you make a good play, then you see a flag after, right? Because it can only get worse.
And you know when that actually gets worse? On film, when you're doing film with your teammates. And it's going to be rough play against the Ticats. So it will not be a first down. It's a dead ball foul. They'll move it back 15 yards from where the play ended. And it will still be 3rd down for the Ticats, who will have to punt the football. And Ernest Edwards will pop out. I was stunned when Edmonton cut him. I just did not understand why he was released by Edmonton, and the Argos were in there quickly. Another one of these guys like Kelly's up from Buffalo. He's a Rochester guy who just lit it up at Maine. He's wearing 00 for the Argos.
Young player, flashed and a lot in his first season. It's just very perplexing. But, Edmonton made some funny moves last year. And
well, he was when Jones came in, he was one of the first casualties. Javon Leake's going to take it, though, back with Edwards. He'll take it at the 39, get across the 45. Hard hit. And the Argos will come out. And who's the quarterback? It's Chad Kelly.
There we go.
Back to Ernest Edwards for a minute.
Swag Kelly.
He didn't like that one. That's done. That's in the rearview mirror.
He's gone?
Somebody asked him about that yesterday or the day before. He goes, no, it's Chad. But Edwards' first drive, he's in there with Trevor Harris.
Yeah.
Harris hits him for like a 10-yard gain, and then he hits him for a 45-yard go route down the side, 9 route, touchdown.
Calgary,
Crazy. And then he can return like he was a ridiculously good returner in the NCAA. We're going to get a penalty against the Argos on that return.
You never know with these things. You may have missed the meeting. You hear about guys doing little things.
He didn't have time to miss the meeting. Jones got hired, looked down the roster, and went, no, I don't like him, don't like him, they're gone.
Yeah. That's a great Jones impression, actually. Yeah. That's awesome.
Oh, I got to get a little more resonance if I'm going to do Jones. There's a pass over the middle. It is caught. And Jamari Hester hangs on.
Big boy.
And the guy who was the hammer is still down.
Yeah, big boy.
That was a very big hit by, who was that out there? That was Patrick Nelson.
Yeah, he's still
as
hurt.
He hit all 6'6" of Jamari Hester, who is a large human being. And down the road looks to be that unique red zone target.
Yeah, he looks like a player. I mean,
he had the lone touchdown in the double blue scrimmage. And he's still down. He's taken the knee. Yeah. Argos are going to roll out the short yardage group with Austin Simmons, and Chad Kelly will go over and talk with Ryan Dinwiddie.
Yeah, that was an interesting play because it looked like he was in harm's way, but then he takes the big hit and he's still standing, and Nelson is on the ground. So,
Okay, I've given the Kingston shout out.
Yeah.
Right? Hometown.
What's next?
I got to get the other shout out in where I'm currently residing in Whitby. Been there for a decade. Chase Arsenault in the lineup now. Out of McMaster. Went to Sinclair Secondary in Whitby.
Yeah, how do you know that?
Because I know everything.
I'm like, you start saying St. Clair. I'm like, St. Clair what?
Sinclair.
Sinclair.
Not St. Clair. Sinclair. In Sin City, Ontario. Whitby, Ontario. Second down and a couple of feet to get. And Simmons will fall forward. He'll get the first down across the 40. I bet this is unique for a lot of friends and family of folks from the States looking at this going, why aren't they on the ball? Canadian football, you have to give a yard between the offensive and defensive lines, which makes it a little bit easier on quarterback sneaks.
Yeah.
But you've got to there's a neutral zone in Canadian football between the offensive and defensive line. The defensive line has to give a yard off the football, which becomes interesting at goal line because if you get inside the 1 yard line, the ball actually goes back to the one.
Yeah.
Maybe the Argonauts will show that off on this drive. Chad Kelly hands off to the rookie, another Torontonian, Dan Adebaboye. Wants Dan, not Daniel.
He wants Dan.
I asked him today. I said, do you want Dan or Daniel? He went, Dan. Okay, that'll work. The 15th overall selection in the CFL draft this year.
He's probably heard
out
Daniel
of Northern
so much.
Secondary.
Oh, Matt Black School.
Yes.
Oh. He probably hears Daniel when he's in trouble, so he's like, man, just keep it Dan out
Boy,
here.
his family's going nuts.
Yeah,
They're
love
so
it.
good on social. They're here
it.
tonight. They were like the first people on the stands tonight.
That's awesome. It's a big opportunity. I mean, guy from –
wow. What a catch. Ball a little bit behind the receiver. And again, it is Hester with the catch.
Hey.
If he was on the bubble, he's just helped.
Yeah, that helps. But also Chad Kelly ripping it in there. I mean, he's got arm strength.
Yeah.
And when the holes are the windows are tight, he can still complete a pass. So, those are the kind of things you like to see. That's why he's still here. And Antonio Pipkin's in BC.
Bunch formation for the first time. They throw out of the bunch, and it is complete.
Kelly's rolling. He's comfortable.
Cam Phillips with the catch. Phillips was a leading receiver in the previous incarnation of the XFL. He led that league, 3 years ago in catches, receiving yards, touchdowns, and had the longest reception in the league. And he came up here last year, couldn't crack the lineup. That's how good the receivers are for those of you joining from the States in the CFL. There's some talent up here.
Big time. Oh, there he goes.
Adebaboye will get the first down on second down and 2 inside the 40. The one thing I've noticed about him, there are 2 things out of these running backs. Watching Andrew Harris every day, the patience is astonishing. Like, you think he's running slow motion, and bang. Like, he's just got that natural patience or learned patience. But Adebaboye runs so smoothly, he does not look like a rookie at all.
So his gait kind of reminds me of Aaron Foster from
yes,
Houston, Texas.
That's a good one.
Just so smooth, right? And Andrew Harris, poor man's Le'Veon Bell with the patience, or rich man's Le'Veon Bell, depending how you look at it, but just so patient.
There's Cam Phillips. No, that was Edwards who caught that one.
He looked good. Taking the short pass, making things happen, getting yak yards, screen pass.
His first team kick return all conference, 2-time CAA conference, twice first team, 1-time third team. All 3 years, 3 or 4 years at Maine, all conference.
Yeah, he can go. He can go. There you go.
And there's a quick hitch, and it's Phillips again inside the 15 to the 11. How quick is Ernest Edwards? In the same game, he had a 95-yard touchdown return and a 93-yard touchdown return on kickoffs.
Come on. I mean, I'd be tired after the first one. I don't got nothing else. I'm good.
But we've already learned tonight, you're not Speedy.
I'm not. Hey, somebody was like, how many yards head start would Speedy need to give you? How would you need to beat Speedy in a race? I'm like, his name is Speedy for a reason. No amount of head start would help me.
Quick little counter play. That's Adebaboye again. Oh, he hit contact, spun off it and down to the 5-yard line for a gain of 8. Oh, you love seeing that. Does that look like a rookie?
No, not at all. And Chad Kelly right now is not looking like a rookie. He's taking control of this offense, getting guys in and out, getting the ball out of his hands quickly. You saw last week he got in a little bit of trouble when he was holding on to the ball. You see he's learned quickly. And that's why Coach Dinwiddie was talking about. He's, been here 2 weeks, and he always looks like a vet. So, positive signs.
And Adebaboye has been in a weight room before.
Oh, yeah.
And
he
he'll
not
get it
skip
here.
leg days.
Bounces off one, bounces off two, and down to the 1 yard line.
Yeah,
so maybe we will get to see them have to move the ball back.
Adebaboye does not skip leg days. Not at all. Not one.
I asked him for a story we're doing. I said, because like when you see him come out, if he's in his shorts before the game, you see thighs, and that's all you see. Right? And I said, can you buy pants off the rack? And he said, no. He said, I buy them. I got to get the stretchy waistband. And he said, either the thighs fit, but then the waist is so big it looks like one of those weight loss ads where the guy's holding up the fat belt. First down Argos at the 2 yard line, first and goal. So they brought in Austin Simmons, rookie out of South Dakota. Adebaboye behind him. They put him in motion, empty it out, flags aplenty. Okay, I can tell you, without even knowing the call, there are too many men on the field. From where those 3 flags were thrown, somebody got their arithmetic wrong.
And somebody's running off the field right now.
Yeah, and he's not being replaced, and he's running to the Hamilton bench, which may be an indication. So that'll just move it half the distance to the goal line from the 2 to the 1, and it'll be first and goal from there. And again, Americans are going, what do you mean? There were 12 men on the field? No, there were 13 men on the field. Simmons, empty backfield, touchdown. Flags down, 2 of them, and the Argos may have jumped on the right side of the line.
Yeah, it looked like a little early movement from the Argos there.
And that will not be good on film. Procedure, Toronto. That'll move it back to the 6. It'll be first and goal from the 6, and in come the receivers. And out come the bigs. And in goes Kelly, and out comes Simmons.
First class service here.
Armando, our producer tonight, has supplied us with water. You are a lifesaver. Because we haven't had a break since this thing kicked off. We went on at 7:25 tonight. 2 hours of nonstop talking without a drink of water. Cruel and unusual punishment.
I prefer this.
Adebaboye in motion. They're going to look for him and then look up the middle. Nothing there and thrown out of bounds. Nice move by Simmons to get it to the line of scrimmage and not take the sack. Check that was Kelly back in. It wasn't the short yardage group.
Chad Kelly is a quick study. Last week he was in the exact same position where defender had his legs wrapped and he threw it into the defense. Today, he's throwing that ball out of bounds, live to play another down. You're in the goal line. You already have 3 points in the bag. Just live to play another down.
It was astonishing in Ottawa he overthrew that receiver. Because he was downfield and he was being brought down and he put a lot on it.
Yeah.
3 receivers to the near side. Kelly looks that way. He's got the man for the touchdown. Argos score their first major and have taken their first lead.
Yeah,
and it was Isaiah Wright who ended up with the football.
This is just a slant from the slot. Chad Kelly sees it, quick drop, and fires it in there in between the zone defense. That's the thing about Chad Kelly, man. Like, whatever the size the window is, he's going to be able to fit the passes in there. And in the red zone, that's where you really see it show off because the windows get so much tighter when you're in that red zone. And a guy like him with his arm strength, that's an unbelievable job by him.
Isaiah Wright has R written all over him.
Oh, yeah.
He was a running back at Temple who became a receiver who played some Wildcat quarterback. Pressures, they go for 2. Kelly ducks under it, throws to the end zone, overthrew the intended receiver, looking for Damien Jean-Pierre. And it will be no good on the 2-point conversion, so the 6-point stand, and it's 15-10 for the Argos. They've got their first lead.
Oh, you saw a lot of good things on that drive by the Argos. I mean, first of all, Chad Kelly getting everybody in and out of the huddle, getting the ball out of his hands quickly. Adebaboye, the smooth runner, Not looking like a rookie out here at all, right? Doing great in protection as well. I mean, there's a lot of great signs from the young Argos.
On draft night, and I wrote about it, and the BC Lions had some video on this, so I'm not talking out of school. They wanted Adebaboye. If Deontay Knight wasn't there at 10, they would have taken him there. But they got them, and now it's like, okay, we need Adebaboye because we have Harris. They tried to trade up.
Yeah.
BC showed the video that they said, no, we've got the guy we want.
Yeah.
Zur was still available, so they took him. And it was like, oh, are we going to get him? They tried a couple of times to move up, didn't work, and then Calgary's picking at 14, and they take Shackle. And it wasn't that Calgary picked Shackle. Yeah. It was they didn't pick Adebaboye, and the room erupted. And the video was posted. It went viral. But they were so excited to get him because he's exactly the hard-hitting downhill runner with a Canadian birth certificate. Yep. You can turn that position all of a sudden Canadian. Now you can go for American receivers if you 100%. Want. You can go for American D-line if you want, although I don't think they need to. Options.
Jinx.
Punch buggy.
No, I mean, he wears 21. He kind of has, you remember Joffrey Reynolds for Calgary? Yeah. Built like him, but just smooth, man. He's going to be in the league for a long time. I mean, just smooth runner.
And I asked him who he liked growing up. He went, Andre Dury and Chad Cackert and Chad Owens.
What?
And Ricky Ray.
Come on.
When he was growing up, old-timer.
He's making me feel old. I'm like, those are my teammates.
Your teammates.
How old are you, man?
He's 23.
Oh, I'm turning 33 this year, so that makes sense.
Uh-huh. So when he was a little kid, he would have been watching you.
Yeah.
When he was a little Adebaboye.
His legs were a lot smaller back then, I hope.
He probably came out of he was like 2 years old. He's got like 18-inch thighs already. The return goes out to the 31-yard line. Ticats will take it over there. 10 for the Ticats, 15 for the Argonauts. We're in the third quarter, 6:22 remaining here. Don't forget, and this is what we're... Now, there are a couple of opportunities here for you. The home opener, June 16th, Montreal's in town. We want a nice way to kick off the season. If you're an Argo fan, you're thinking about making it down, it would be awesome to have you join us. And you can still become a member. You can still buy season tickets. Go through argonauts.ca. Either way, would love to see you out. We know the team is going to be good. How good, we don't know. But this, you've seen flashes tonight from different players. You saw it in Ottawa with some of the backups who looked pretty good against some of the Ottawa starters. This is a really deep team, and I do not want to be in the room tonight when they're breaking down game film. Yeah. Tonight, Pinball and Vince Magri and Jim Barker, Alex Russell, Ryan Dinwiddie are going to be in there. The coordinators and the coaching staff are going to be breaking down film tonight till the wee hours. Then they'll get up tomorrow, they'll come back again, and they'll do it again, and they've got to make cuts tomorrow.
Yeah. Toughest day in sports.
Oh, boy.
Toughest day in sports.
It is, even when you got a bad team.
Yeah, because you grow such a bond with these guys over the 2 weeks. Training camp is not easy. But the only way you get through is with each other. So.
And it's interesting how coaches, and this is something I've learned in the last 3 years, how you're a player.
Yeah.
Coaches are going to see you one way.
Yeah.
For what you can bring to the offense, the short term. And then the coaching or the personnel group is going, hey, this guy 2 years from now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, projecting.
And
right.
it's really interesting dynamic of trying to figure out, can we hold on to him because he might be able to play specials? And the special teams coach goes, well, I don't know if he can play specials. Like there's a lot of conversations are going to go on in the next 24 hours.
Tough. Good players are going to be let go.
First down Ticats from the 31. Offside. Oh, go back. You cheated.
And the one thing I always think about, right, is, you're a young player. Whether you make this team or not, what you do on the field might determine the next team that you're on, right? Because all the teams in the league are going to get this film, right? And they can trust this film. It's not like they're watching maybe XFL or German league or some other league. They know this is CFL football, so they can evaluate it a lot more accurately and project what you can do. So even if you're not going to be on this team, there's all the CFL teams are going to watch it. If you do a great job, you're going to find yourself on a roster somewhere.
It was the end on the far side. I can't get a number. Who jumped. Little early. First and 5 from the 36. Argos show blitz. They send 5. Under pressure now, running for his life is a Hamilton quarterback, Newman, and he will get the first down. Out to across the 41, which was the yard line they needed to get to, and it'll be a first down at the 42. Ticats trailing the Argos 15-10. Kelly to Wright, Isaiah Wright, has been the difference so far. First and 10. Low snap again. Quarterback keeps it and will get maybe 2 yards. Ran into a sea of blue, and it will be second down and 10.
Newton's taking a beating out there. You would think he's a running back, the amount of carries he's had in his short time in there, but he's got to start throwing the ball if he wants to make it out of this game alive.
Lenny Puditau was in there. I watched his video when we signed him.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. Like small school at Adams State.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about quick hands and quick feet?
That's an athlete, man.
Like getting off blocks with his hands?
Yeah.
I hadn't seen a kid who hadn't played pro before do that in a long time.
Like I'm not learned later on, right? Yeah.
And we're going to get a time count violation against the Ticats, the 20-second clock. It's interesting, the learning curve, because the 20-second clock seemed to sneak up on Chad Kelly in the scrimmage. Yeah. But in Ottawa, he said, I didn't have any problems with it. Yeah. Like, it just took that one experience to go through it.
He's a quick study, man.
Yeah.
Like, you talk about that story, but a lot of the things he did in Ottawa, I'm seeing him improve, learn from it, and apply it in the next game. So, man, I'm very impressed by him.
Well, it's not like he's coming from UBuff or
hey,
was it City College in San Francisco?
Relax.
What was the name of the college?
Yeah, you got it right.
City College? Yeah.
You know everything.
Yeah, that's true. Back to pass, looking downfield, crossing route. It is complete, but short of the first down, even on second effort by Andrew Boston, and it will be a third down and 4-ish, 3.5, and it will be a kicking situation as Edwards will head out with Darius Roberson. So we got University of Maine looked after. We got Wayne State looked after now on the return game. Javon Leake from Maryland. Got it down to 3 or 4 returners in terms of who's going to go week 1. I would assume Javon Leake is a front runner, but I don't know. 3rd and 3. Snap is good. No penalty flags. There's finally a good punt for the Ticats. Kicked it above the lights. We couldn't see that one.
Okay.
Here's the return, and it's going to be Edwards across the 15 to the 17. And it will check that was Roberson. And it will be a first down for the Argos, who lead 15-10, 3.5 remaining in the third quarter. Mike Hogan and Natea J with you.
You talk about the scoreboard not mattering, but late in the game when you've got some of your bubble guys late, you want to win the game, right? Because it feels good, especially if you're a player out there. But coaches, I mean, they can't turn it off. They're even in practice, they're always coaching to win. So, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter, but you can't tell that to the guys trying to make this team.
Well, you also want to, if it's a late game situation and it's a 2-minute drill or whatever, you want to be able to execute. Yep. And as a coach, you want to see who can do it.
Sure.
Okay, if Austin Simmons is in the fourth quarter, you want to see if he can do it.
Yeah.
Who are the receivers? Who are the guys that are going to tense up and maybe drop one with less than a minute left? And if that happens tonight, with the receiving depth they have, that could be a big drop.
I always think about how, on the drive here, I was thinking about how interesting it is because during camp, you played, whether you played great or bad, you have a chance to change your perception with this game right here, right? Like, you've had a great camp, but then in the game, maybe something bad goes on. Now you put a seed of doubt in the coaches and the evaluators' heads, like, okay, we know what he can do at camp, but when the lights came on, it didn't work out so well. But at the same time, if you had a great camp and you have a great game, it just, you put the cherry on top of the cake, right? So it's, these preseason games, they're a preseason game, but they matter.
Chad Kelly so far, 6 of 8, 75% completion percentage. 1 was a throwaway. And 66 yards, 1 touchdown. He's been all right.
He's been good.
Mac was 15 of 24, 63%, 183 yards, no picks, no TDs.
it's not so much the numbers of Kelly, but it's the mistakes and the things that he's learning from that it's really impressing me. And it's Coach Dinwiddie talked about, he's a quick learner, and you're seeing that tonight.
Back to passes, Kelly. Throws a dart in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Coxie, and it will be 2nd and 10. Did the defender get his hand in there?
Yeah, he did. It looked like he tipped the ball there, and we're going to look at the
Couldn't
replay
tell
right here.
who it hit first. Was it tipped or just a draw? Ooh, that came. Yeah, he didn't have the arms out.
He has got a rocket of an arm.
Like that went through the hands and off the shoulder pads.
Ooh, that's a fastball, man.
Yeah, and a little giddy up on that one. Blitz. Did Kelly pick it up? Yes. Got rid of the football over the middle and threw a pick. He was looking for Hester. He didn't get him. And the Ticats will take over to the 33-yard line. Threw it behind him. Yeah. There's the speed, but not the accuracy.
Yeah, it looked like the accuracy was off. He knew where he wanted to go. The blitz was picked up. He hung back in the pocket. Just the throw was off. He had the open man, just threw it behind him. You know what? It looked like his feet weren't quite set. And a lot of times when you see interceptions, the quarterback's feet are all wrong.
So here, the Ticats are going to go back out on offense. And we have... Oh, they're playing shout. Jim Kelly's here, and they're playing shout. 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Hamilton has 54 yards passing. And 10, 20, 30, 39, 42, 49 yards rushing.
Okay.
Argo defense doing a really nice job tonight. Now, Hamilton's not going with the A-team.
Right.
But the Argos right now don't have their A-team out there and are still executing.
Speaking of Buffalo, last year I was at the famous game where the Patriots threw the ball 3 times the entire game. And this Hamilton offense is resembling that. And we were talking about Jim Kelly earlier. There's a whole synergy right there with Buffalo and the Ticats and that whole thing and not throwing. They haven't thrown the ball. I don't know if they don't trust Newton or what it is, but they've kind of running the Navy offense here. I don't know.
Chris Trianaflu was the head coach at Waterloo back late, 90s. Passed away a couple years ago, just unexpectedly. Terrible story. But he was old school triple option, right? Mm-hmm. He said, Hoagie, you know what a perfect game is for me? I said, what? He said, no passes. And he was serious.
Oh, my goodness.
And they ran Ryan Wilkinson and Mike Bradley, who played with the Edmonton CFL team.
Yep. I had a youth coach that had that same mentality, and as a receiver, I hated it. I want to quit.
Yeah, but that blocking got you into the league.
Right.
From the 34-yard line, that's where the Ticats will put it in play. Back to pass, looking long, left sideline, has a man, touchdown.
There we go.
Dropped it right in there. Anthony Johnson will take the pass through Newman.
Buffalo. University of Buffalo, Anthony Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. That's why I'm happy. But, hey, that's the first time he's thrown the ball. Not the first time, but very few times he's thrown the ball. The Argos defense gets lulled to sleep, and Anthony Johnson gets behind the defense there. But that's a great pass from Newton. He gets his feet set. He's throwing the deep ball.
Anthony Johnson was an enigma because he's so good athletically, and they just never got him the football. And it was like, okay, this is his junior year. This is going to be his year, and it wasn't. It was like, okay, senior year. And he's a basketball player too, right?
No, you're talking about Dominic Johnson.
Oh, I'm thinking Dominic Johnson.
He got drafted by Edmonton.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he was an enigma. Oh my goodness, he had the size, speed. He was a former quarterback, like you mentioned, basketball player.
They'll go for 2 and not get it. 1 yard shy of the 2-point conversion, so it will remain 16-15 Hamilton with 2:27 remaining. Here in quarter number 3. It's not a Rembrandt. It's not a piece of art. If it is, it's a Picasso because you just can't. It doesn't quite look right. But it's coaches right now are seeing what they need to see.
Yeah, it's funny. We were talking about Newton not really throwing the ball, and then as soon as I say that, he goes on and throws a deep ball for a touchdown. So make me eat my words. But that was a beautiful play, a beautiful pass. It's just funny that you run the ball so much, the defense gets lulled to sleep, and next thing you know, you're throwing it over their head. That's why. It's so important, especially at the professional level, just to stay locked in.
If you're thinking of going to an Argo game this year, you can't make the opener maybe because it's a Thursday night. There are 2 CNE games this year. If you buy an Argo ticket, you get free admission to the CNE, so an added bonus.
CNE's back.
Yeah.
Missed
so
it.
we want to pack those, and I believe one of those is a Hamilton game too. That's going to be
That's
lit.
going to be something.
That's going to be fun.
They're going to be happy about that. They're going to have full numbers in there.
And we would love to see you there. Argonauts.ca, you can buy memberships, you can buy single game tickets. Love to see you down at BMO Field this year. Kickoff is going to be fielded. The lighting here is not great. I will be kind. Very difficult to pick up the numbers as a flag gets thrown about 30 yards in the air. That was Isaiah Wright, the 4th returner. So it's kind of Leake and Roberson and Wright, who has a touchdown tonight, and Ernest Edwards competing for that number 1 returner job. One would assume illegal block, and it is, and it's going to move the Argos way back to the 20-yard line, 1st and 10, trailing by a point. See, if this was the 4th quarter, they're almost in Boris Beatty range right now.
Yeah. You start thinking about those kind of scenarios, yeah. No doubt.
I watched a replay of a Beatty kick this week. I want to refresh your memory on how far he can kick a football. From the 20, first down, out of Boboye will take it out to the 24. So they're lined up in Calgary for a 54-yard field goal, right? 54. Think about the kid who hit one here tonight, small for Hamilton, 52.
Yeah, it
gets over the bar. From 54, 20-yard end zones, right?
Yeah.
He kicked it at the back of the end zone on the fly. So from 54, add 15 conservatively, 69 with some to spare. Like, that's crazy.
Comfortably.
That's easy.
Comfortably.
And I think 15, because it kind of went straight down. It was like 3 or 4 yards out of the back into touch.
Unreal.
Crazy leg.
I mean, it's, you know what, we're spoiled because we see it every week.
Yeah.
But, like, you get reminded when you see the other team's kicker just, celebrating, just barely making it over. A wall scraper.
Kelly wants to go long down the rail. He does. He's looking Edwards.
Yep.
Pass interference. Had the defender draped all over him, and the ball came down. Did the ball hit him, or did he pull up something on his hip? Nonetheless, Josh and Mark are going to go out and take a look at him. It's going to be offensive pass interference. They're calling Edwards on this.
Interesting. That's
Please give us a replay. Please give us a replay.
You rarely see called.
Here we go.
In the CFL.
Now he threw that from the
Kelly
15.
giving his guy a chance.
40, 45, 50 in the air.
No, that's a bad call. I mean, they're both battling. They both have their hands on each other. It looks like.
I know most people didn't see this because the game wasn't televised. I was sitting in the room with the ops guys when they were breaking down the Hamilton-Montreal game from last week. And the pass interference at the end of the game?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Wow.
Yeah.
Two guys running like that, kind of side by side. But there, you could see separation between them. I don't know. The CFL's working through it too, right? I thought that would have been one of the instances where that eye in the sky is going to go immediately.
Right
hey, let's take a look at that with 20
seconds left
in the
here,
game.
or do we have that at like preseason games too?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That's a good question because that game wasn't televised, so they may not have had that. Very good point. Ernest is up, coming back over to the sidelines, and he is limping. Out of Rochester, New York. And Beatty is going to go out to punt. Got to get him 1 or 2 punts in.
Yeah, live game action.
John Haggerty has been very impressive in camp and certainly in the game a week ago.
The game a week ago.
Crazy.
A weapon.
He had 6 60-yard plusers and a 53.
I've never seen anything like it. That was unreal.
Tonight, 3 punts averaging 45-7 as long as 51. So here's Beatty working with his pal Jake Reinhardt. And that's not BD-esque, and it will be caught at the 45-yard line. And another good return for the Ticats with a flag down. Taken down at the 45 was Lee. Argos down. A minute 18 remaining here in the third quarter. It's 16-15 for the Ticats, and I assume this one's coming back. But after that PI, I'm not sure. And they are going to march it back. I didn't see the call from Foxcroft, and his microphone hasn't worked all night. Preseason game.
Yeah,
this is a
working
facility,
out the kinks.
And it's a facility that's not used to doing a CFL game, so I'm sure there are some kinks to be worked out. Great facility, just
oh my goodness,
raving about this
indoor.
place.
Have
you seen the weight room here?
Yeah, I had a couple friends that went here, always posting pictures from this weight room.
It's crazy.
It's like it's comparable to a D1 facility, honestly.
No question, and not small D1,
right.
like a big
they got
D1
money.
school. Thank you, Stu Lang. Running game. A-gap. Finally a hole. They'll take it across midfield to the 51-yard line.
Okay. Malik Irons in there.
And I believe that was Tiggy Sanko who came up and made the lick. Got the tackle. He's playing some safety. The global player. Number 3 in the global draft in the 2021 draft. He went down to the International Pathways program the NFL has. With Cleveland. So he was with the Browns on their practice roster for 2 years.
Tell you what, Tiggy does not look like a global player.
No. Born in Sierra Leone. Learned football in Germantown, Maryland. Long pass again down the sidelines. Incomplete. As he was looking for Donnell Williams.
Looks like we got a holding on Hamilton.
And we got an injured Ticat, which is it's all you want to do in this game at this stage is get out of it clean in terms of injuries.
Oh, yeah.
He got pushed back. It's the left tackle, I believe, who got pushed back, and he's being helped up now. Those big guys, when something tweaks, they get scared.
Yeah.
DeAndre Wesley is the injured player who's up and walking off and doesn't even look like he's got a limp. But when you're a man that size and you get knocked backwards and maybe you have had an injury before, that can get pretty scary pretty quickly. So the penalty will move it back to the 49-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 11.
And you know it's bad when linemen go off because those guys play through anything and everything. Like I've seen guys go through like ligament tears and still out there playing. It's just some of the toughest people in all of football get no credit except for when they do something wrong. But, yeah, you got to be tough to play lineman.
See what Corey May styles up here. The final play of the quarter, they dump it off underneath. It is caught by Irons, and he'll take it out across midfield, but they'll be 3 yards shy of the first down. And that will be the final play of quarter number 3, with the Argos trailing 16-15. I think the fans have gotten enough for their money tonight. Like it's you're not seeing the starters, and at times, we're reading this game, not studying the Ticats' depth the way that we probably should because we're concentrating on the Argos. But we're getting a chance to see what's out there.
Oh, and you get a chance to see live CFL football once again. I mean, in a great town like Guelph, this is cool for everyone involved. Guelph has been so good to the Argos to be able to host a preseason game here.
Thank Ryan Shane and his staff for giving up their facilities.
Oh, yeah.
And if they'd like to give them up permanently, like we got great stuff at BMO, but this place is unreal.
Yeah. This is like football. It's all football.
So here in the locker room, they've got pot lights in the shape of a griffin.
Yeah.
So I was down there a couple of years ago when camp was here, and I saw Stu Lang, who was like Mr. Football here and the greatest benefactor a school could dream of. And he says, "Mike, you want to see something neat?" I said, "What?" And he turned the pot lights to blue.
Showing off.
Oh, yeah. Or no, he went from blue to the red for the Griffins.
Setting the mood.
And he had the blue light. Whatever color I want. These things are amazing. So Leak is back again. Is that Leak? It's dark here, man. These are darker lights than we're used to at BMO. No. Is that Darius? Might be Darius. What number are you seeing? Lineups are so big. Usually before a game, I come down, I'm checking out
Robertson.
shoes. It is Darius.
Yeah.
Darius. I asked him. It's not Darius. It's Darius. Darius Robertson.
That's very important. I mean,
yes, it is. Absolutely. So Darius is back there at the 5-yard line. Low kick again. It'll hit at the 20. Take a tie-cap bounce. Sit down at the 10. Go get it. No yards flag comes out. Roberson will take it back to about the 10. And the Argos will have a long field in front of them. And we'll see what Chad Kelly and the offense can dial up here. Trailing by a point. Nicely underway here, early in quarter number 4. Nice contingent of Argo fans driving up the 401. Nice contingent of Hamilton fans coming up Highway 6.
They travel well.
They
Especially
do.
to Guelph.
This was their home for
right.
a while when Tim Hortons Field was being built.
I remember Hank Burris was their quarterback.
Blitz, run up the middle, and it'll be a couple of yards, no more. Dan Adebaboye with the run. Short gain on the play. It'll be second and long.
That's so interesting that he wants to be called Dan, because I've seen it, guys, people shorten it for them, and then they go, no, it's my parents named me this. I want it. Like last year with Mike O'Reilly, right? He went by Mike for so long, and then, his mother had passed away, and then he's like, no, it's Michael. I want to honor her. So it's just so interesting, and that's what's so cool about the CFL when you get to learn the different personalities.
There was a ball on Adebaboye very quickly from Kelly. It'll go incomplete. The punting unit will come out. Sometimes it works the other way, right? Like I asked Robbie Smith, do you want to go to Rob now? Because he gets Robbie, gets both. And he said, no, keep going, Robbie. He had to think about it for a while, though, because, you get guys, you call them both.
Right.
And, which one? Like when the game is being nationally televised, which one do you want?
Yeah, and then so other guys don't care. It's like, just call me whatever.
Yeah. There are a couple guys I haven't asked yet. And I hope I'm getting them right tonight. Probably got a parent out there going, I just heard you say my son's name. You butchered it.
Yeah.
I apologize. There's Boris with a better one. Back to the 50-yard line. Ticats on the return. Hit once, hit twice. Flag down.
Oh,
better coverage job. Now we got a high tackle by Declan Cross.
It looked like an offensive face mask, though. Declan's head was pointing the other way. We'll see which way that one goes.
Tony Brown, the receiver. We've already seen offensive pass interference. He got the hand up. Did he get it in the grill, though? That's what we will find out. Right now, the ball is at the Argo 51, but it looks like it's going to be heading north, which is not good news for the Ticats. There's one. There's two. Oh, it is a face mask against Declan. Yeah, both hands got up there. And that will move it 5 yards forward. No, they're going to mark. Oh, they moved it back and then they moved it up. Because the other one wasn't a dead ball foul. I don't understand that spot.
Yeah, they both grabbed each other's face mask, but they'll get the defensive guy for sure.
That ball moved a yard, and I'm not sure why. Ball at the 50-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Tabby Kitties, up by a point. They will go to the ground right up the A-gap for about 5 yards. Flying around out there on defense. Jonathan Jones is out there. He had a great year at Toledo. He was a guy at Notre Dame and then headed north. He's playing specials at Notre Dame and then headed to Toledo. And I was like, ooh, had a spectacular senior year. Yeah. 2nd and 5 from the 45-yard line. Pressure over the middle and incomplete once again. Another good job by the Argos to force a 3rd down and 5, and we'll see if the Ticats decide to go for 3. Special teams unit comes out. This will be a 52-yard field goal attempt.
I always love it. So especially in the preseason, right? You get a lot of new players from the states, especially NCAA schools, and 2 downs will go by, it'll be a quick 2 and out, and they'll still be trying to run another play. And it's like, no, it's just 2 downs up here. It's such an adjustment, doing something your whole life and then coming up here and having that 2 downs. It just it takes a while to get used to.
Here's the difference having Beatty and not. They're going to punt. Almost blocked. Roberson will come up and take it. It'll bounce in front of his feet, go into the end zone, roll around in there a little bit, and he will get it out. He runs it out to the 1 yard line, which is not a really good idea. As the Americans learn, you can give up a single point by taking a knee, but you're rewarded with field position. So that's something that Darius is going to have to get accustomed to. He runs it out to the 2 yard line, which means the Argos don't give up the single point, but they have 108 yards in front of them right now.
Right.
But again, they're almost in Beatty's field goal range now.
Right. He would have helped himself by catching that in the air, and that's probably the thing they're going to harp on in film. Like, you've just got to catch that in the air, especially a low-line drive like that. You catch it in the air, and you're in good position because the defenses, special teams units, still have to get 5 yards. So, you'll be fine. Got to catch it in there.
So again, here's the Beatty factor. It was a 52-yard field goal attempt last year. He does this before the games. Beatty will stand there with the ball on one of those tees where the sticks that hold it, and he'll just swing his leg. He doesn't step into the ball.
Yeah.
He stands there on his left leg and swings his right leg.
Yeah.
He was hitting last year on a regular basis from 45.
That's
insane.
Unbelievable. Yeah. You think about,
like, there's no step in. It's just the right leg swinging.
I'm thinking about that right now. I don't think I could kick a soccer ball and have it roll the distance that he kicked in there. Honestly, I guess
45.
Like, that's unbelievable.
Prefontaine was the first guy I saw do that.
Yeah.
He'd do it from like 30, and then he'd move back maybe 35. Bars is just casually boop.
It's almost equivalent to like the quarterback that is on his knees and throwing it from his knees and seeing how far he can throw. Like, I remember, some of those tests, like those Jamarcus Russell would, be able to throw it like 75 yards on his knees, something like that. And the Raiders fell in love with him. But, yeah.
The NFL's first 400-pound quarterback. He could play college, man. He was so good in college.
He was unreal in college. The funny story about him was that they gave him a bunch of tape, and they asked him, how's the tape going? He's like, it's going great. And then they knew he didn't watch it because it was blank tapes.
That's cold. Austin Simmons from the end zone will run up the A-gap. I don't know if that was supposed to be a fake to Isaiah Wright, who was coming across the formation. And maybe he just pulled it back and ran on his own, or the timing was off, or the spacing was off.
Simmons has got some Chris Streveler in him. Just kind of the way he takes off and runs, his built. He's fearless back there as a quarterback. He's not scared of contact.
They could not be further apart in personality.
But also armed.
Gotcha. Pressure. And Simmons is going to take off again, and he's got one man to beat. He's going to get the first down or more across the 15 to the 20 to the 25. Austin Simmons with a 25-yard run to the 27, and it's an Argo first down.
He literally did what Chris Streveler was known for in this league, and that's impressive. I mean, if you backed up on your own end zone and to be able to use your legs to pick up, positive yards, but an explosive play, that's what you want to see, especially a guy that might be handling, the short yardage situations. We'll see what happens with Chad Kelly.
There's a great story that Austin Simmons stole the show at rookie night this year.
I heard about that.
27-yard line, first down, and they will run the ball again. Here's Adeboboye across the 25 to the 30, turns the corner.
There you go.
Drops the shoulder to the 35-yard line for a gain of 9. So Austin is a quiet guy, and the night he first got called up on rookie night, he went up, and he got nervous and he choked.
Yeah.
And he got booed off the stage, right? This is the rookie night. It's before the evening meetings, and he goes up in front of his teammates. The rookies are asked to sing a song or read a poem or do something. So he went up. He choked the first night. We'll go to this play. We'll get back. Second down and a yard and a half maybe. Simmons from the pistol gives it to Adeboboye, who will spin off another tackler and get the first down, a gain of 4. So Simmons goes up, and he brings a piece of paper. He goes, I got a poem. Roses are red. Violets are blue. Nah. And he rips off his shirt. And you talked about the muscles the guy has.
Yeah.
He's got the M&M T-shirt on and breaks into Lose Yourself.
That's unreal, man. That's unreal. And, that song, everybody knows the lyrics of that song, on a football team. So I could just see it right now. Everybody, especially his nature, quiet nature,
Yeah.
everybody probably jumped in and was singing.
Oh,
with
they did,
him.
everybody, like when the song is rocking, everybody gets
Yeah.
it. They join in. Some guys have been really good. Some guys they play football for a living. 4 to go on second down as they've just crossed the 45-yard line. Argo's down by a point. 9:10 remaining here in quarter number 4. Low snap. Simmons rolling to the right, looking for some room. Looking.
Oh.
He wants to launch it. There it goes. Maybe not the best throw because that's intercepted. He didn't see the safety creeping. We could from up top, and it's going to be a pick. And the Ticats are going to have the ball at their own 45.
Yeah, that's a no-no in the CFL.
The thing is, for a guy who runs a lot, as you'll see here, when he runs, he's one-on-one in space.
Take it.
He may have been able to run, but he wanted to show off the gun. He's got it.
Cast a note, Stravel.
I want to hear you do this. No, I want.
I don't have his name in front of me. That's why.
Katsatonis.
Castatonis. I'm trying to remember how you said it in the
Or
playoff game.
Katsatonis.
Castatonis, Greek
UBC.
Greek legend
Yeah.
from UBC. But no, he made an interception last year on McLeod Bethel Thompson when he was diving through the end zone. We thought for sure it was an incomplete pass, but they overturned it in that playoff game. And he's everywhere, man. That guy's a player. They know they got Tunde Adeleke, but if anything can happen, especially in that playoff game where he had to be forced into action, they got some good depth back there.
And you can go with that as a Canadian position and feel comfortable that you got that guy there.
Absolutely.
If you back up a Canadian with an American and you've kind of got that on your roster as a Canadian, then all of a sudden he's got to start moving guys around, and that can get problematic. Always popular football toss.
I was trying to look for one.
Could you get open at this stage?
No, not after sitting down for the last 2.5 hours. Pull a hamstring.
For the record, I have been standing doing the broadcast for the last 2.5 hours.
You're in mid-season form already.
Oh.
I've got to work my way to that.
In storytelling, yes. Trying to catch up with all of the guys on the roster right now.
It's tough.
It's tough. There are tricks to the trade that make this very difficult tonight. Doing our best. We're grinding through it. First down and 10 after the pick. They'll mark it at the 44-yard line. Ticats leading 16-15 inside 9 minutes. Clock moving on the possession change. Outside of 3 minutes. And ground game, bouncing it outside, but getting swallowed up whole. I think that was Flagel in on the tackle. It was. Lee gets maybe a yard, maybe. Second down and long. It was indeed Connor Flagel. Was it Mr. Flagel listening from Atlanta? I think it was his dad listening from Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
Second down and 9. He's big. He's flashed in camp, too. He's a fairly late addition to the Argos. Back to pass, looking sideline and complete. Sat down on the zone. That's a great throw and a great catch. As the Ticats were able to move the sticks inside 8 minutes.
Great throw by Newton. He's had a couple throws, especially in the second half, that have looked really good. I'm surprised they haven't let him throw him more, but when he's in rhythm, when he's getting his feet underneath him, he's looked good. That's a pretty pass. Deep out, deep comeback on target.
These are big passes, right? Because Dane Evans is your 1.
Yeah.
You assume Schultz is your 2.
Yeah.
And now you've got Morton and Newman looking at 3 and 4, and one wants to play. They both want to play, but it's better to be QB3 than 4, depending on how many guys you want to carry. There they've got the screen pass set up, and Lee will take it for a couple. It'll be second down and long. Maybe give him 3 on that one, 2nd and 7.
I was going to ask you, you've watched every single day of camp. Who's been, a few guys that have really popped to you?
Second down, 7.5, almost 8 yards to go.
Someone you hadn't really known of before, because we know Speedy Banks, we know Andrew Harris. Like, who can you think of that you didn't have a lot of knowledge on, but has
good
impressed
question.
you?
Let me think about that. They're going to set up a screen to the near side. Blown up perfectly. Was that McFadden?
Yep.
That was a great play by T-Time.
Yep.
Tarveris McFadden just read that, jumped it. And it was actually Matt Boateng, 28, not 29. Numbers are tough to pick up here. And he read that. There's another kid, Canadian, given the opportunity to play a couple of years. You can tell he's been hitting the books.
Yeah.
Third down and
you talked
6.
about with Robbie. I would not have seen him make that play last year. So you can see him learning, growing in this defense. That's good. That's a good sign.
They're not going to go for the 53-yard field goal. They're going to punt it again. Aussie-style punt. Will hit at the 10 and roll into the end zone, and this will be a single point. So they will add one and make it a 2-point lead at 17-15 with 5:45 left. See if the Argos can get into field goal range and perhaps take the lead here.
Yeah, if you look at it, you've got maybe one, maybe two more possessions. I mean, the CFL, maybe 3. Now, so it's getting pretty late. If you're trying to make an impression, and make this team, you gotta go. This is it. You gotta go. Start now, right? So, and it's not always going to be a big play. Like what coaches are looking for is if your assignment sound every single play. Like if they can trust you to do your job every single play. If they can trust you to do what they coached you to do every play. Whether the ball comes your way or not, you can't really control that. But you can control if you're applying all the weeks of coaching that they've given you. So that's what coaches are really looking for in these kind of situations. And obviously it helps to make big-time plays, have big-time catches and things like that. But all that comes as a result of doing your job.
Playing House of Pain. Is it Iowa that they go nuts at the end of the third quarter and play House of Pain? Jump around?
Isn't that Nebraska?
Is it Iowa, Nebraska? So it's a great visual wherever they do it.
Jumping, it's all red. I think it's Nebraska.
Okay. So one of the rule changes implemented here after the Rouge, it will be a first down at the 40-yard line. So last year forever it's been the 35. Now it's the 40. So they're closer to BD range already, which is one of the reasons why they wanted to implement this. It's a little more punitive for the team that can't nail the field goal or misses the corner with the punt. And gets them a little closer into field goal range should this be a game-ending drive, which is not, I would assume, with 5:44 remaining. Going to have Austin Simmons still in there for the Boatmen. Ball on the left hash mark, back to passes Simmons, has some time, steps up, rolls, throws it across his body, and not good. He's looking for Hester, and it will be incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, he's rolling out there. He had some space to run, but he saw an open receiver, and you'd love to see him, as a quarterback stop and try to make that throw. But his footwork was all over. He tried to throw it off base as he didn't have his legs under him, and that's what happens. The incomplete out of target throw. So there with Simmons, he'll learn. Just set your feet, deliver the pass, and let your receiver do the work.
2nd and 10. Low snap, gets away, has a man again on the curl. It was Hester, and they're saying it hit. Would have been a couple of yards shy of the first down. Instead, it's 3rd and 10, and the punting unit comes out again. John Haggerty will do the honors this time.
Yeah.
3 punts, 45-7 is his average.
Yeah, and on that throw, Simmons, you could see he was just trying to aim the ball. You just got to let it rip. When you try to aim it, that's when you actually less on target than if you just let it rip and do what is your natural ability.
The West Kentucky product. Nice long kick. Returnable at the 22-yard line. Lee will take it. Check that. That is not Lee anymore as they're playing spin the returner. And that one is Tony Brown out to the 32-yard line. Okay, I know I asked, how many people have I cleared off Twitter because I read their tweet? Like 50? I just looked down at my notifications. More? I got 101.
Come on, let's get some shout-outs before the game's over.
We'll have to do that. We'll do that on the change of possession of the 3-minute warning. Thank you to everybody who found us tonight, by the way. We really are appreciative of this.
That's love.
We kind of threw it together. We're able to do it at the last minute. Thanks to everybody at MLSE who busted some rear end to get this thing done. We got good people working for us. No question at all. They give the ball running into the pile and then popping out is Lee, and he will be tackled after a gain of 2 after running about 108 yards to get there.
Yeah, he popped. It looked like he was going down. He popped out of nowhere. And thank goodness on the backside, Tiggy Sanko didn't fall asleep, or that could have been gone.
Getting Tiggy with it. 2nd down and 7 from their own 36-yard line. Big play for the defense here. See if somebody can dial something up. See Benoit Marion out in the field. He's a character. He's fun to be around. Newman back to pass, dumps it out. He's got a man close to first down yardage and maybe a little short. The brother of Deshaun Amos, D'Angelo Amos, came up and made the hit, and it will be, I think he got it. No, they're going to measure. It's funny, I was talking to Vince Magri. I said, oh, you went after the brother? He goes, actually, you went after D'Angelo first because when we went after him, Deshaun was under contract with Calgary. And D'Angelo signed with Detroit.
Yeah.
And they kept, hey, do you want to come up here if it doesn't work out? Doesn't work out. And they were able to get him, and then they were able to sign Deshaun, who became a free agent on February 8th. Both really good. Both are really having fun here. Deshaun was an all-star with Calgary. D'Angelo was a first-team All-CAA player as both a safety and a kick returner. Returned 5 punts for touchdowns.
Wow.
He was
if he gets an interception in his hands, he
knows what to do with it.
What to do. But, like,
how it was the first down for the Ticats, by the way, we should say. They're just setting the ball up after the measurement.
How cool is that to have you come up here, for the first time and have your cousin teach you the CFL ropes, especially same position, same side of the ball.
Brother.
Your brother.
Yeah,
sorry,
brothers.
Your brother. Like you putting yourself a head start right away.
Ground game. Stopped in the backfield. I think that was, and now we get the flag. I think that was Jonathan Jones, who is playing with some attitude right now. He is quick. He is we signed him a week ago. He hasn't been here that long. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah,
it's all a blur now.
He's bringing the energy. I mean, you can tell it's the last day of camp for you because everything is mixing together. But Jones, man. I mean, he came out there like the bat out of hell. Like, honestly, he is on fire. Every play, I've been watching every single play. It's 100%.
There was one play where he wanted to reset, and there's a penalty against Hamilton. They're going to take it, move him back 10. But there was a defensive lineman lined up maybe half a step in the wrong direction, went out and just smacked him in the butt and got him to move over. So to be, this new to the defense and taking charge out there as a young player, that's impressive.
Coaches are looking for all those little things that determine how you project, right?
It was actually a 15-yard penalty, and it was a dead ball foul. Again, the officials' mics aren't on, and I didn't see him make the call. So that makes it a 2nd down and 25. If you're the defense, this is one you better stop.
Oh, yeah.
When you're trailing by 2 points with 3.5 minutes left.
They're going to give up everything underneath, but nothing should go over their heads.
It's 4 men up, and everybody else is 15 back, and they do give up the 10-yard completion very quickly. Jones closed in. Tony Jones, who had 8 sacks in 24 games as a linebacker at Texas Tech. Bunch of tackles for loss. Oh, we got a bag blowing. There we go. Was that Matt Black? Intercepted!
Oh man, another jinx.
One of the many heroes of the 2017 Grey Cup.
I'll never forget that play.
How could you not? I never saw it. I was doing sideline radio for TSN when I was working there for the national broadcast, and I was between the 2 benches. Benches were on the same side at Ottawa, and it was a pass down the right corner, right in front of the Argo bench, down the sideline. I couldn't see because he got lost behind the players. All I did for that play was I was looking at Matt and I was looking up at the ball.
Yeah.
And I was looking at Matt, ball, and I said he might get there.
Yeah.
I didn't see the catch, but I didn't need to because I saw the bench.
Yeah.
And I knew that wasn't a knockdown.
That was huge.
Oh, it was
you know what
crazy.
it was? I remember a DB for Toronto had gotten hurt, so Jermaine Gabriel had to go to the corner.
Akwasi Wusu-Henshaw was not good in that game.
Yeah.
Like, it was so good in the season.
Did he get benched or he got benched?
He was.
Okay,
I don't know if it was the snow that freaked him out because he never played in the snow
So Gabriel
before.
went from safety to corner,
Yep.
and Calgary tried to attack him.
Yep.
And they had their fastest receiver, I forget his name, but he went to Philadelphia after that season. He had a good season. And tried to attack him deep ball, and Matt Black read it all the way. I mean, Bo Levi Mitchell did a great job trying to hold him in the middle.
Yeah.
I don't know how he still got over, man. He's just unreal.
Straight line, and, it's good to be lucky to be good. He took the right line from the very first step.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which you don't know where that ball's coming down. Like, no matter how good you are at tracking the football, when the ball is thrown, you don't know. It was a great play.
And for him to even, like, you're there, you bat it down, it's a good play, it's a great play. To catch it seals the game.
And Gabriel would have knocked that down anyway.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, Jermaine is a guy I love. He's never scared of any moment.
Third down and 14. So, again, return time. Isaiah Wright's out there, and Darius Roberson is out there.
All right. Under 3 minutes. Got the ball back, down 2.
They want to take some time off the clock. They'll snap it with 1. Line drive.
Okay.
That should be returnable, but it goes over his head. Isaiah Wright took the wrong angle, and it's inside the 10, down at the 6, and a late flag comes out. Did they get a face mask on that one? I don't think so. Was it a late hold, trying to keep guys off Wright? It's rough play against Hamilton, I believe. No, it's going to be against Toronto. No, it is going to be against Hamilton. It's an illegal block against Hamilton? A push from behind against the kicking team. That's unique. You're the special teamer. Take a look at this and see what you've got. We've got the replay up here. I don't even know if Isaiah touched that one. It went over his head. And I don't know. I don't know.
It had to have been after the play.
Maybe.
Something went down.
It'll move the ball out from the shadow of the goalpost. A cliche, by the way, I apologize for using. I hate that one. Out to the 18-yard line, first down. Simmons in a quarterback still. Get some time, quick hitter. And he's got his man out to the 25-yard line. And that, once again, is Jamari Hester.
Yeah. Hester's an impressive receiver, man. Just smooth, big, tall. You remember, I mean, fans know Eric Rogers, obviously. Hester is in that same mold.
Big,
in terms of
6'6".
big, smooth, can get open, can do everything you need on that football field.
They're playing in an FCS playoff game. He had a 70-yard touchdown for Jacksonville State against Maine. Ernest Edwards was playing for Maine. Another quick hitter. Coxey's got it. Down the sidelines. There's a horse collar right in front of. There it is. I think the challenge flag came out first from Dinwiddie, and then the second flag was from the official.
That's field goal range.
The wind is picked up, and it's in Boris's. Yeah, it's Boris. I forgot. Slap me, bad announcer.
You must have thought it was the Hamilton kicker.
I saw the flags are now the same color for whatever reason. They went from orange penalty flags with the officials. So maybe they got to change the coach's flag. Because I think that was Dinwiddie's flag. But it was an obvious horse collar. We
saw it from up here.
Hey, kids, don't do this, and here's the rule.
Yeah.
And you don't, and for a horse collar, we should point this out, you don't have to be inside the jersey. If you grab the nameplate or the top of the shoulder pad, they're going to call that as well.
100%. And also, if you're going to do it, don't do it on the opposing team's bench because they're all going to be calling for it.
Was that an official's flag or was that Dinwiddie who just had I want the replay because I don't see a flag. I think RD had the first one. Ground game. Adeboboye inside the 45 to the 42. It would be, and this wind has really picked up, so I'm going to go back and stand by my statement about Boris. This is the strongest by far the wind has been all night. 2:11 left. Argo's down by 2, and they've got the ball at the 42-yard line. This would be 49 yards, and as strong as Boris's leg is, I don't think he gets it there from here.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the flags behind the stadium.
Yeah, it's really pushing right now.
They fake it, and they're going to run again, and Simmons runs into his own man on second down.
We're going to find out because he's coming out.
Wow. If he nails this.
He's walking out there
there's a Canadian flag in the end zone, and there's a bunch of Argo banners, and they are absolutely flat out.
It looks like a tornado is coming.
Don't say that, because we were here at stadium for that thing 2 weeks ago. The telltales are out, and the wind is blowing it's rocking the uprights. Remember the kick here in the playoff game? Who was the Montreal kicker?
Was it Sean White?
Yes, where the ball stopped.
Yeah.
At about the 5-yard line and went straight down. This is exactly the scenario, and this is from 52.
He's got it.
If he gets it there, I will be astonished. Kick is up. It's low. He's going to get it there. He missed it to the left, though. It had 5 yards to spare. It's going to be returned out to the 5 to the 10. The Ticats will get it out to the 15 to the 20. Still on his feet for the Ticats with a flag down is Irons. Actually, it's Donnell. No, it is Tote Brown, who just ran a quarter mile to get out to the 50-yard line, but I think it's coming back from where the flag was back at the 20.
By the end of that run, it looked like the people at the end of marathons where their legs are just shaking and they're just hoping it's over.
He almost killed the clock.
Yeah, that's.
So Boris has missed from 47. I can't believe he got it there from 52. It was a low-line drive. He took the rotation off the ball. Everything you're supposed to do as a field goal kicker in that instance. And he got it there.
Unreal.
That's
is
astonishing.
Even more impressive, like that he actually got it 5 yards deep in the end zone.
The Ticats wouldn't do that with the wind. They didn't. They gave up a 52-yarder at the other end. So after the penalty, it's going to go back to the 9-yard line, and a minute 20 left. The Argos have a timeout. You have 2 in Canadian football if you're new to the sport. You cannot use 2 inside the 3-minute warning. So basically, if you haven't used it, you've lost it. The Argos can stop the clock once. The clock does stop after every play. Ground game, and it will get across the 15 to the 20. That's a first down for the Ticats out of the 25-yard line, and that is big for Lee to be able to move the sticks.
Big relief, and it gives Hamilton some extra.
With a minute
field.
15 left. More importantly than the first down, tick-tock, tick-tock.
Tick-tock, tick-tock.
And we'll see
if they have to punt, a little bit more space.
This is where you call your timeout, and Dinwiddie just did. 1:15 on the clock. As bad as Hamilton's punters have been, if they have to punt now, it might go 92 yards.
Yeah.
No, they'll be punting with the wind.
Yeah, right.
We will have a very short post-game show for you tonight, by the way. Thank you again. Bottom of our hearts. We saw some of the numbers here. I got a solid 4 figures tonight listening to the game tonight, which when you put it together and have very little promo for it,
right.
I'm very happy with that, and so many people from around the world listening tonight. Very humbling. Thank you. Running game, nothing. Swallowed whole. And that was Benoit Marion. Oh, I just lost a water bottle. I feel bad. So Benoit Marion, who's been bugging me. Say my name. Write about me. I can say your name, Benoit.
You do something.
Was a late cut of the Quebec Junior Ramparts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was a hockey player. Played
Wow.
AAA in Lachine. And when he did his rookie night, he said, or when he did his first introduction, he said, "I stopped playing hockey because I don't fight." He's 6'5", 250. It's probably good for the opponents that he doesn't fight. Second down and 15. They will go ground game, and it's swallowed whole again at the 20-yard line. 47 seconds left.
Enough time.
So the Ticats can run 20 seconds off before they punt. They will be punting with the wind, and Isaiah Wright is going to be back at about his own 40.
Yeah. Isaiah needs at least 10 10 yards to put the Argos in prime space for a attempt to try to get a field goal. Run one.
Well,
or
we
two
know he's got
plays.
the leg from 52 into the wind. They're down by 2 points. 42 seconds left, 14 on the play clock. So they're both moving here. About 28 seconds when they have to snap this thing. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They snap it with 29 seconds left.
There you go.
And it's not a great kick. It's
Here you
returnable.
go.
Here's right to the 50, to the 45, to midfield, to the 50, to the 45. It would be a 52-yard field goal. They're in field goal range. The ball came out, and Hamilton says they have it, but they're saying down by contact.
That's what the doctor ordered, right? 10, 15-yard return, put you in field goal range.
If they complete one pass.
Right.
Now, did the ball come out? You tell me, Mr. Color Analyst.
It was a great job by him catching the ball on the fly. He gets into traffic. He looks like he's got 2 hands on it, and the ball looks like it does come out because he is twisting at the moment. So if the Ticats challenge this, they might win this. But
run a play.
but I don't
There
know.
might not be video replay tonight
Right.
because TSN is not showing the broadcast.
That's awesome.
That's why
awesome.
we're here.
One pass.
Kelly
Boom,
got
it's
it.
there.
Complete down to the 35-yard line. That's once again the big man, Jamari Hester.
Now they have one more play. They can run. They can get the ball
13.4 seconds.
to whatever hash he wants, but they might be running. It looks like Chad Kelly's getting these guys ready for a pass. Yep. Quick pass, quick hitter.
Oh, it is Kelly in, and he's got him in to the 30. They wanted to run the short yardage the 2-minute offense. Inside the 30 to the 26. It's going to be a 33-yard field goal attempt for the win into the wind.
If Chad Kelly's going to be your number 2, you want to give him as many of these situations as possible. Great job by Coach Dinwiddie putting him in there and seeing what he can do. And he's proven that he can run a CFL offense, especially in a 2-minute situation. I've been impressed by Chad Kelly today.
Boris Beatty will tee it up just inside the left hash mark. Haggerty's the holder. Reinhardt's the snapper for the win. There are zeros on the clock. Snap and holder good. He's got it up. Got it.
Sir.
It's a BD3 and a walk-off as Beatty does it to the Tabby Kitties again. Toronto gets the win, 18-17, and it's going to make the drive back to the 6 a whole lot better for the Argo fans who made it down.
What a way to end training camp, right? A lot of these situations, coaches try to manufacture in training camp and have your kicker try to make a game-winning kick. Nothing compares to the real thing. Beatty lines it up.
No doubt on the length.
Hold, good, easy money for Beatty, and he knew it right away. Does it to the Ticats again.
Before we're going to get out of here quickly, last year he kicked that game winner against the Ticats, 51-yarder, no time left on the clock, and there was a shot beforehand where Jarius Jackson's going out, right? Where are you going to go? Where do you want? And he's going, what hash mark do you want it?
Yeah.
And Boris told me, he said, how long do you want it? He goes, 16 in, I'm good.
Yeah.
Which hash mark? Like he came back, which hash mark? He went, I don't care.
It doesn't matter.
And he doesn't. I can visualize it either way. I literally don't care.
I don't ever think about it. Just put the ball down and I'll kick it through.
So the Argos are able to get the 33-yarder from Boris Beatty to walk it off against the Hamilton Ticats in the first of 5 and maybe 6 meetings between the two this year. So thank you to everybody who helped technically put this thing together tonight. We did it with some duct tape and some staples at the last minute, and everybody pulled up and worked the rear ends off. And I hope it worked for you because it worked from our end. And for you listening, not only from the GTA, but literally around the world tonight, thank you for taking the time to join us. This is an example of what Argo football could be. Come and join us at BMO Field. The home opener is June the 16th against Montreal, 7:30. Argonauts.ca. You kind of know how to get here because you're here now. Just kind of go over to the tickets and buy a ticket for the opener or become a member, even better, and join us for the full season. You have like 2 seconds. What do you have to say goodbye?
It's going to be a fun year this year. Last year you saw it was just a tip of the iceberg, but this year we've improved in every single way. Come out and support. That's the last thing this team needs, just to support at BMO Field, and it can take it over the top.
thank you again for joining us tonight. We hope you enjoyed our presentation of Argonaut football. For Nate and our whole crew, I'm Mike. Thank you for listening. We will see you week 2, a week 1 bye, a week 2 game against the Montreal Alouettes, the home opener at BMO Field, 7:30 Thursday night, Argonauts.ca. Come on out. If you're an Argo fan, bring some friends. Expose them to what Argo football is. Tonight was fun in a preseason game. Imagine what the regular season opener is going to be like. For the entire crew, once again, we're going to wrap it up, and we're going to wrap up camp from Guelph. Good night from Alumni Stadium.